Christmas time with Type 40 Live, the live stream Doctor Who magazine show all across your view screen here on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. Doctor Who rants and raves, comfort and joy from the past, the present, and the future, all in front of a live chat full of fellow friends, fans, and companions just like you. And ho, 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 where shall we go? We're going to be catching up with the Sea Devils the week of the launch of the War Between. Not just that, but lots more too. All those memories, all those Christmases before. But what's in the schedules this year? Not a great, well, we'll see. And he may be the biggest comedian in the whole world, but what could he possibly have to say about it? Yes, and yeah, I've gone a little bit mad yet again. Here we are in the console room. I've been decorating the place, been doing it up for Christmas. Put my finger down just too hard on the silly string, and look what happens. What a mess. I don't know, but I think it'll all work out in the end. It's sort of Christmassy after all, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dan Hadley, Birmingham's king of the geeks. And yeah, I love Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas? Starting early, or are we? I don't know. I go from being not remotely Christmassy to just really, really feeling it, and needing to get the smell of the mince pies in my nostrils, all that kind of thing. So yeah, we're full tilt with jingle bells and lots more besides. We'll find out who you are in a moment or two. I hope the sleigh bells hasn't ruffled too many feathers, because not everybody goes full tilt, do they? But yeah, you got to go big or go home here at Type 40 Live. Okay, yes, so I can't really get near any of those controls. It's a bit of a mess. I can't even make out what's what. To tell you the truth, I need someone who knows this console way better than I do. In fact, I think she probably knew it a lot better than Matt Smith did. Charlotte Shields, welcome back.
Hello, everybody. I don't know, because he was the doctor that had lots of screen time with the TARDIS and the console.
He did, didn't he?
Compared to some other New Who doctors.
He did. So I'm trying to work out where, I can't even make out where the door handle is. Or that little bell. Ting! He used to smack the bell sometimes.
I think in the central bit, that's the typewriter that he had.
Okay, yeah.
Because above it was like his screen or something like that. That's how his, and then to the right was one of the pull handles he had, like a proper pull handle. It's a bit like a out.
It's sort of a pump, isn't it? Yeah. So this is what passes for wintry, a winter wonderland. In the TARDIS. Have you been the last few days? You good?
Good. At school, we've been rehearsing for Christmas play, so there's been lots of kids in hats and Father Christmas and lots of songs. So it sort of puts you in a mood, even if you're not in that way usually, and I am luckily. So it's
Christmas jumper days now, don't they, at school?
Oh, we're having that next week. Ours is next week for that. I have got my jumper, which I'm not going to
go in your Christmas pajamas is another one that I've heard of, and or go as a pantomime character, all that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, no. With this weather, though, I always think with the kids, you're brave to go in pajamas.
There's some brave souls out there, aren't there? Some brave souls, because the elements are raging across Britain. It has to be said. Down in Cardiff, it's mayhem as well. This is what the Cardiff Tourist Board has put up on social media. Yanto's Shrine has taken somewhat of a hit there in Cardiff Bay. I don't know how I'm not even sure what all of that is, but there's planks of wood and all manner of bits of old crap floating around in whatever was washed up in the basin there.
Maybe the Sea Devils would decided, okay, let's attack another bit of Britain and go after the shrine.
Could be the revenge of Aquakind after all. What do you think, Gary? Do you think that they've come to get us and they're going to start? The real invasion is going to start in Cardiff Bay?
Well, all that garbage had to go somewhere, after it rained out of the sky. Is that still a thing? Is this a current photo? So. Wow.
This is 2 days ago. Yeah.
After all these years, Yanto's Shrine is still there. I can't believe that. That's amazing.
Still active.
I can remember because it's not too far from the Doctor Who experience. So me and my mate went for the Doctor Who experience, and we walked past the shrine, and even then it was still you could see actively new stuff was going up. So
Wow.
it's very much
That's great.
it's become a bit like a pilgrimage, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I found it by accident when the first time I sort of went there for a proper run around. I went down those steps, that kind of rampway, and there it was. I imagined it would actually be far larger than that, and it may be in a more auspicious place.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of next to the bins and things like that. But it's maintained by a dedicated caretaker, who's this retired lady who just sort of does that in her spare time. So cleans it up
Wow.
now and again, adjusts it, and makes sure the pictures are all sort of fastened in properly. And yes,
Aw.
they really take care. They really take care of
nice.
it. All the way back in 2009. They're a tourist attraction, and I think it could well be, if you're coming from abroad, for example, from the southern hemisphere. Would this be your first port of call, Matt Pott?
No.
Wouldn't be that either. Hello, mate.
Second. His second.
Torchwood, I'm sorry.
Went to a Torchwood.
Hmm?
You went to Torchwood, guy.
No, definitely not. No, it was just too on the nose. Like, it'd get like some really great stories, and then when they just never ever stuck to the landing. I just never found them enjoyable enough.
You're
So
far from alone.
I quit early on.
You're far from alone, mate. There's a lot of Doctor Who fans didn't like that show.
It's a bit funny because I remember being at Comic-Con one year, and the guy that plays Yanto,
Yes.
he was I don't know why I ended up out the back, but I ended up out the back, and there he was having a fag with his caretaker, because they were there that year to promote this. I'm not sure, but it's just like, yeah, that's not exactly a good look.
Yeah, I think 2009 the Yanto Shrine was originally put up.
Yeah, I was there in 2008 for the con, so I think that's what they were promoting, the Torchwood thing, because the following year in 2009 they had David Tennant come, and that was a big thing. That was because his final year.
I tell you what, if you look at the actor nowadays who played Yanto, he's almost unrecognisable. He's so much bulkier and more serious looking.
The weird thing was, like, he was on the way up because he just got a huge starring role in, I think, Warehouse 13. They were planning a big spin-off of H.G. Wells, and it was going to be a girl H.G. Wells.
Yeah, she was in Warehouse 13. Yeah,
and he was going to be like her Watson, and they did this whole thing where
that's right.
Yeah, they did a whole episode dedicated to her and this guy that played Yanto, and it just went nowhere. But yeah.
Well, he was only on it. He was only on it, I think, for the once, but then she became like a recurring character.
No, because she was so popular. No, she was so popular. They were going to spin her off into her own thing, and they set it back in the 18th century and that, or 19th century, and he was going to be her Watson to her home.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it just didn't take off.
Yeah, he's still around. The last time I saw a picture of him, he'd got a great big beard, Charlotte. As you say, he's bulked up quite a lot. He looks like he's got sort of greying hair. I think he was playing the Sheriff of Nottingham in some sort of low budget Robin Hood cable movie or something. But it looked like he was having a blast. Whatever it was he was doing, it did look like he was having fun, and I think that's why a lot of them get into it, Matt, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's funny because you know that picture of the TARDIS you had up earlier. That looks like a cake. It looks like a cake going wrong. It's like someone's tried to make a TARDIS and it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, they've got out of hand with the marzipan or something like that. Yeah,
the frost is sort of falling apart. Yep.
Gone a bit closer here into the various crevices, and it makes no more sense to me than it did earlier on, Matt. I don't mind telling you, but it is kind of wintry, which was the desired effect. I think, even though it's quite warm where you are, it's very, very parky here. But the street lights and things have all kicked in. The tinsel is gradually appearing. And even if they won't put it up and they won't give us decent Christmas trees in Trafalgar Square anymore, I think the Doctor Who community, we can bring the rest and sort it out between us and the Doctor there. With
same problem here, actually, with the Christmas trees.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, in Britain, it's because the Mayor of London is anti-British and anti-Christian.
Oh, it's the same in Sydney. We're having the same problem with Sydney. They don't want to offend anybody because it's a highly
diverse,
different religion covered in Sydney. So they didn't want to offend anybody. And now it's picking up where people are just pissed off that they've changed
so it's up to normal people to use the word Christmas
holidays
at every opportunity. I feel, Charlotte, and this, in many respects, with Doctor Who, we went from one extreme to the other, didn't we? Whereby there was no Doctor Who Christmas specials during the entirety of the classic series, and then it became synonymous with Christmas. Here we are facing a Doctor Who-less Christmas, or are we? I've been digging around. We're going to cover some of that later on, I think. But what could be more Christmassy than Matt Smith, drizzled in tinsel just for you, and a Christmas hat aloft his bonce, because in between talking about the weather and food and fashion and all that kind of thing, Gary, we are actually here to talk about Doctor Who. Even if the BBC have sort of stopped for the most part, we're determined to talk about it anyway, the past, the present, and the future, if it has one. And it is still quite quiet out there, despite the fact that there's a whole spin-off airing. Then all of a sudden, the most surprising people start to talk out of the blue about Doctor Who. I'm talking about Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais has to be the world's most popular, funniest, naughtiest comedian. Obviously, he's stinking rich to the point where he's totally uncancelable, and he has fun with that too. He's a very clever man, a very hardworking man, and a very charitable man as well. We'll touch on that in a little while. I've never been certain as to whether he's a sci-fi fan or not, though, Gary, because not everybody is, are they?
Who I would hope one of these days he actually does a new sci-fi show. That would be great. Where he can write it, produce it, whatever. It has that politically incorrect sensibility that he's famous for. That would be, I would love that.
Because part of his established persona is that kind of eye-rolling, oh, for God's sake, sort of grow up kind of aspect to it, isn't he? When he looks down his nose at various people. But that's very exaggerated, I often find, simply so he can get to the comedy of a situation or highlight whatever he needs to highlight. So he always portrays himself as a man who is above sort of nerd culture and sci-fi, and that's absolutely fine. But I can't but note that during the finale of his 2007 series Extras, he did appear with David Tennant there as a slug creature. He was in character as his lead character, Andy Millman, there. So the idea being that Millman has secured a cameo as a Doctor Who villain. Do you remember this? Have you ever seen Extras, Charlotte? Is this something you'd watch?
I'd seen random clips of it, because there were so many actors he had in this show, wasn't there? It was like every week. It was like, oh God, right, he's in it, and then she's in it. But to be honest, it makes sense at that time, because Extras was him poking fun at the industry. It was him sort of poking fun at actors and establishment and what it's like behind the scenes. So it would have been weird if he didn't have a Doctor Who something in there at that point on the BBC, because Tennant was in full-blown victorious mode.
And the silly thing is, that's not far off from the RTD era, the early RTD era, because he had, it's true, because they all had a face. If it had a big major star or something, we had to see their faces. So it's not far off. It's just like another one of them stupid mini episodes that they have for children in need or something.
Well, Matt, this outfit that he's in here looks a heck of a lot better than the cosplay pigeons we got a couple years ago in that Rogue episode.
Oh.
I mean, I like this one a lot better.
Imagine getting Indira Varma in your show and covering her in feathers and making her unrecognizable. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, yes, so Ricky Gervais, yes, so he's still best known, I think, as the creator and star of The Office, which became such a global success, and I think one of the biggest franchised of comedies, different versions in different territories, all that kind of thing. And then there was
It's
extras,
one of those
Life
ones
Too
that
Short.
absolutely mystifies me why that's so popular. It's one of those comedy shows that just
I think there was an
I
Australian
just could
version
never ever
last.
get.
I think there was
Was
an
there?
Australian version last
Yeah,
year that
it
was
got
cancelled after about
cancelled.
6 episodes or something like
Yeah.
that. But the American one obviously ran for years and years and years, and
Yeah.
in many respects, it's sort of
It's a
more
bit of a
famous
franchise, Dan. I think it's been
Yeah.
done in numerous countries.
all over the world,
than
mate.
the
All
ones,
over the
yeah.
world. Made him a very, very rich man
Still
at the age of
mystifies.
64 as he is now. But he still goes out touring as a stand-up, and every few years there's some big new project from him, Charlotte, and everybody sits up and pays attention because if Ricky Gervais has got something to say, you can guarantee it's going to be, firstly, it's going to be very, very funny. Secondly, it will be something worth hearing, I often find.
Well, I think Ricky has sort of got that name for being very, very forward with like, whereas other comics will think, oh, I won't say that or that'll get me into trouble. He will just say exactly what he wants. There's a reason why people say basically the Golden Globes. Nobody's beaten him yet as the presenter for those awards because those speeches he gave was basically saying to those actors, don't come on here lecturing us, don't come on here telling us about all these issues when you're just actors. Like, that's what we all were fed up of at that, still are, but I think at that time it was really a thing of normal people or everyday people saying, get your award and go. Like, that's what the sentiment was. And that's what Ricky did in that opening speech. I think he did it twice, and it just hit home a lot with people.
And he really does upset a lot of people who haven't got a sense of humor at all. In fact, never mind share his sense of humor, because a lot of the time he's pretty much bang on the mark. And this is no different. So he's promoting his new show, Mortality, which I think he's still touring. There's just another few dates left. And the recorded version, the film version, is due to be released on Netflix, I think, over the Christmas period. So that's what he's promoting. But he had some words of advice for anybody who may be offended by his brand of comedy. And that's where Doctor Who came in. I was mystified about this, but you check this out.
Hello, Ricky Gervais here. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who bought a ticket to my Mortality tour and everyone who tried. It's probably my favourite tour so far. The special drops on Netflix on the 30th of December. So if you like the show, or if you like my previous shows, then you're gonna love the special. It's more me than ever. If you didn't like my previous shows, you'll hate it. You'll hate it more than... Don't watch it. It'll make you sad and angry. Don't even watch the trailers, because they'll make you... Oh, and you'll post something about them. Oh, there's no one to care, and that'll make you sadder and angrier. Watch something you do like and talk to your little friends. Doctor Who. You'll like that. Watch Doctor Who. Thanks to everyone who subscribed to dutchbarn.com. If you haven't, go there. You go into a draw. Every month someone wins a year's supply of vodka. And if you buy ginger spiced, we help donkeys. I've also been totting up the money I'm going to give to animal charities from the tour. So I'll do a little press release about that next week. So yeah, Dutch Barn, Mortality, donkeys. Merry Christmas.
Wow. I thought when he said, "Don't watch it, it'll just make you sad and angry," that he was talking about current Doctor Who.
This went over some people's heads, and then gradually across social media, X and Facebook in particular, where he posted this, and Instagram as well, gradually when people realized that he wasn't actually bigging up Doctor Who, would it surprise you to learn, Gary, that some sections of the fan base got very, very angry at the uncancelable Ricky Gervais?
What did he say? Wait, what did he say that slammed Doctor Who?
He
He
Well,
did
the
says, like, if you
input-
don't watch me, go watch something you like Doctor Who, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, but he's trying to throw shade on the fact that if you like current Doctor Who, then you're one of them rainbow warriors, which is true.
Okay, well, I agree with that.
You know, and that's because I mean, people. I mean, I don't like his humor as much, but it's just the fact that he's off color with his humor and he's blunt, and they don't like that. They don't like being blunt. They don't like having anything told to them in their faces, and a lot of these jokes will be off color to them because he's probably going to be making fun. I haven't seen any of the trailers that he's done, but they're making fun of them. And so he's just saying, if you want to feel comfortable in your little self zone,
Okay, all right.
then
I got you.
go and watch Doctor Who, where you can go into a vegetative state.
Well, I think that's one way of looking at it. I mean, I agree with you completely about Ricky Gervais. Here's what I term as an equal opportunities piss taker. He does not care. He doesn't go in for identity politics. He believes that you can laugh at everything and see the humor in everything and everyone, and that not taking each other or ourselves too seriously is a good thing. That's part of being well adjusted. And I suspect, reading between the lines, Charlotte, that what's happened is that when there has been attempts to cancel him or to get him to apologize for something that he said or done, that a lot of it has originated through social media. And Ricky, I don't think he spends that much time on social media. He's too busy. But obviously, this is a man who a lot of his comedy is about people watching, about human beings, the interpersonal relationships as well as political relationships. So he will have looked at the people who do get upset by the things that he says in his brand of comedy. And I suspect that he's noted that one thing a lot of them may have in common is that when you check their various bios, they're listed as being Whovians or something like that. I think it's a common denominator now between fans under a certain age who all subscribe to a certain very intolerant ideology, and they will more commonly be fans of some dickhead like Ncuti Gatwa.
I think this speaks to a lot more, actually. And I think we've all sort of said this in different ways, or we've touched upon this, that Doctor Who has got its own baggage right now. It's got its own image issues.
It's a joke.
It's got
in itself.
Exactly. It's Doctor Who has now become you can now publicly mock it and it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Whereas a couple of years ago, it still had that little bit of, oh, but it's got that sort of, oh, it's Doctor Who and it's British and it's national sort of institution stuff. And now the industry itself can point and say, look at what mess Doctor Who is. I think it's not a coincidence that we literally had Dead Ringers, well, in the same year that Ricky's made comments like this, basically do a sketch which absolutely tore into how Russell's running the show at current, how he's writing it, how the Doctor is characterised, how Kate and side character, like that sketch,
you're right.
To me,
I think
it felt like it was almost the signal that it's now acceptable. You can now make the jokes.
I think it's to the point now where a couple of years ago, before the Ncuti era, that if you said anything wrong, you were a misogynist or something like that, and you were cancelled. But I think we are at the stage now where we have been so oversaturated with this crap that it has become, we have become more emboldened and more like, no, we're going to say this whether you like it or not. And
Matt.
Yeah,
and
Charlotte?
I think also Doctor Who's at the weakest state it's ever been. So when you're at that state, when you've literally got in your own scripts jokes about how Tennant keeps coming back, like literally in the special, Ncuti made a comment, oh, it's not him again, is it? Like That's now part of the show, is making jokes now about David Tennant never coming away from this role, and that's what we've been saying for years as fans. So the fact that he cannot even say why, he can just say watch Doctor Who. He can just say watch Doctor Who, and everybody who's even a little bit aware will go, I know why you said that.
Well, to do what he does, he really has to keep totally current on what's going on in the world and pop culture and everything for him to do his comedy. He probably knows full well, what the controversy is with Doctor Who and how it's become just a bastion of all the nonsense.
Not forgetting as
well,
well.
it can't be.
Sorry,
it can't be. It can't be coincidence, Matt, that Ricky Gervais doesn't work for the BBC anymore. He doesn't work with them.
right.
Doesn't work for them. Barely.
That's
And
my
to be
point.
fair to him, he barely mentions them either. Even though Ricky Gervais doesn't pull any punches, I think when he doesn't mention something, that also can speak volumes as well.
I'm going to say this because I've noticed this trend in that British comedians or producers or both have begun to live in the US where there is more free speech, and those who feel like they're being ostracized because they're on the left now in the United States are moving over to your area, Dan.
Yes, Ellen DeGeneres.
Well, Ellen
Perhaps like that.
DeGeneres, you've got Rosie O'Donnell, you've got all these
Oh,
people who are just
Oh, the best and the
horrifically,
brightest.
yeah, and just horrifically ineffective, and they are going to where they feel like they can feel like that's their world,
Domain.
and obviously, like I said, comedians have become more emboldened on both sides of the spectrum, but I prefer the right.
Well, apparently Ellen DeGeneres has had enough of living in Britain already after one winter, and she's decided that she's going back to California or wherever it is.
Oh, jeez.
So what a pussy! I don't know. Yeah, Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I mean, they say, and people haven't taken kindly to this. Oh well, what do we expect from a man like that? I think he's having a go. I think he's taking the piss. Yes, he is. I think he's noticed.
Of you.
Noticed. Well, yeah, he's noticed a certain connection between some of the people who try and cancel him. Ricky Gervais' Mortality on Netflix. That's December the 30th, and he announced just a couple of days ago his intention to support various animal welfare charities through the money that was made from the proceeds of the entire tour. He's donating 2.5 million to between 22 different animal charities from this tour. And this isn't the first time he's done something like that. So you can judge people by these actions.
Yep.
The heart of the man, Gary. I think he's clearly got a handle on where Doctor Who is right now, and his heart is absolutely in the right place as well. Of course, what he doesn't realise is that we can't watch Doctor Who though, Gary, because everything's gone up the vortex, hasn't it? It's all there's no Doctor Who to watch, which is the fault of not just one man actually, but the latest man. Responsible is this arsehole. Bloody hell. The fallen king of Doctor Who, Russell T Davies, the smuggest man with the least reason, probably in the whole of television.
He's the most protected man too, isn't he?
Probably. They gave him another award for something or other the other day for getting up and sitting down unaided or something like that. Anyway, so we've got a little bit more from Russell T Davies concerning the next chunk of Doctor Who, which is a whole year away. We haven't even started work on it yet. He'd said, "I know what happens, but I better write it down soon." This is professional guy. This is because I know what happens, but I better write it down soon in case I get run over by a bus.
Don't get our hopes up, Russell.
This is what Russell T Davies told BBC Newsbeat, and he said that he'd shared his plan, Gary, with BBC bosses, which left them with jaws agape, loving it.
Of course, Dan, because
he likes the word agape. That's all I'll say.
Well, because everything he touches turns to gold, don't you know? And every idea that he has just leaves the audience just, you know,
In rapture.
stunned by the genius of it.
Here's the thing, Russell. The first half of that sentence could very much be true, just not the second half. With currently what you've been doing with the show.
Now, was it you, Matt, that said this last week? I bet he's not even written it down. Somebody did. Maybe it was
No,
maybe it was
it wasn't
David
me.
Milling. Somebody put it out there that he probably hasn't even started work on it. And but yeah, he says here, I know what happens, but I better write it down soon in case I get run over by a bus. But he shared his plans at least with the BBC bosses so they can write it for him if he does go under the wheels of the number 9. And he left them with jaws agape, loving it. I mean, even if this is true, and they were agape, he doesn't know whether they were loving it or not. Well, if they could have been agape for any one of a number of reasons, or it could simply be that they would say anything to get this twat off the Zoom call so they can get back to doing some real work. I think that's probably more where the measure is right now.
And
The
notice
weird
how.
thing-
I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead, please.
No, you go, Gary.
No. I was just going to say, notice how the way he phrases it makes it sound like he's still totally in control, like he's the one that the BBC bosses, you know, he's the one that presenting all of his ideas to BBC bosses. I mean, when probably it's
Gary,
like, okay,
I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
He's got to deliver it to them in a year's time.
well,
On the
here's
most
the
important
thing.
TV day of the year.
We
Well, in
all
about 6 months.
we all know that they probably gave him his marching orders. They says, here's your laundry list of the things you got to do in this special. Make sure you do every single one of them.
I don't think they're watching, Gary. I don't think they're watching
Well,
at
no,
all.
but Matt, I'm talking about, look, you got to get rid of this stupid cliffhanger. You got to kind of clear the decks for whoever's going to come next. And I don't know. I'm just fixated on that whole getting run over by a bus image.
Well,
now.
that's it. I mean, we've got another 12 months of this and another 12 months of this prick. And, you know, it's not going to get any better. And so there's going to be no difference between this current, what he's been doing, and the next episode. We need a clean slate. It's got to happen. If
Yeah.
it doesn't happen, then Doctor Who is going to sink further.
Here's
A lot can
what I've
happen.
noticed.
A lot can happen in 12 months, Charlotte.
Yeah, especially as some of that he probably won't be bothering us because he's got that tiptoe show to be doing, hasn't he?
Yep.
But what I've noticed is Russell's tone has gone from when he was just a frustrated, angry man. That's what I got a lot of last year off him. Sort of trying, like Gary said, trying to look like he was still in control and he was this big I am. But if you looked at his words, it was reading between the lines, but it was clearly there. And I feel like now he's trying to go back to like, I'm jokey Russell now. I'm jovial Russell again. And it's like, Russell, that doesn't wash now after you've been absolutely horrible to fans online. You've had story beats which, I'm sorry, were designed, it felt like, to annoy the fan base. You've treated the legacy in the show the way you have. And now you're trying to go back to flippant, I could get run over by a bus. It's just, I think he's trying to reclaim that cuddly Russell image again. He's trying to get that back.
Don't threaten us with a good time, buddy.
But he can't because of what the last 2 seasons he's done, combined, like I said, online, his own actions and the actual writing of the show.
I'll tell you what, Charlotte, he's a big unit. It'd have to be a bloody big bus, have to be a double decker.
Well, but remember, Charlotte, that for like the last 2 seasons, how the finale was just the finales were going to be just the most spectacular, amazing things
yeah.
we'd ever seen.
And like
It's
half
like
the
we
cast.
wouldn't even know, our minds would be blown. We wouldn't even know how to handle it.
Yeah,
I've
and
got
the likes
such
of-
a major
and the like-
star. A major star is going to be in the giggles, Charlotte. Your mind is going to be blown. And it turned out to be some bloke from Coronation Street who played some camp villain for about 6 months. Nobody could remember his name. Obviously, the giggle was 2 years ago this week. Can you believe that? 2 years since Bi-Regeneration was introduced to the fandom as well, Charlotte. This is what I mean about time flies when you're having not that much fun.
Oh, and he still hasn't explained it. Even though we've
Explain.
had it twice now.
You don't worry.
It's just a thing that happens.
Explanations? Next year, you'll be wanting to be entertained, Charlotte. How unreasonable.
I know, I'm a horrible person.
You know what I'm most looking forward to this Christmas? No singing goblins. That's what I'm most looking forward to this Christmas.
No hit songs? Come on, Gary.
We haven't got any singing goblins this Christmas, but we do have our friends and companions in the live chat there. Let's go and catch up with them and see if they're getting into the Christmas spirit or if we're not bringing back some really bad memories.
Oh, hello there.
We have mixed receptions for the Jingle Bells. I don't know. No Ebenezer Scrooge types in here. Tug on your Christmas hat and get jingling those bells. Richard Brooks, Ezra Goldstein, everybody else in the live chat. We can hear you, you know. We can hear you if you're not doing it. So we insist you join in every time we play those from now on. Please never again. Please, Richard Brooks. I don't know. We'll win you over. We'll wear you down between now and the 25th, won't we, Gary? We'll get them in the end.
Richard Brooks is going to have 3 spirits visiting him in a couple of days. And so
I'll get him every year.
There you go.
We've got Tom in as well from T-Dwarf. Hi, everyone. I've been making more spider models for the Oxford Museum. Well done, Tom. Can't wait to see. Make sure you send us some pictures by all means. Stephen O'Neill's in too. Marveling at our frosty console. God, that sounds...
At least that's what I hope it is.
We've got Woodhouse 122 says 20 years this Christmas Day since the Christmas invasion aired.
Wow.
See, this time flies, doesn't it? Woodhouse 122. And Richard Brooks is still complaining about the jingle bells. Just jam your fingers in your ears. Nicholas Horton's joined us too, Charlotte. Hi, everyone, says Nicholas. And Lord Thoth's in as well. 'Tis the season, declares the good Lord Thoth.
With his Christmas hat as well.
He's adding, the Master is also sporting a Christmas hat, dished out to him by Peter Harrington, or so it seems. A Christmas Choral console. Ben's in too. Hi, Ben. Evening, everyone. Evening, Ben. Good to see you, mates. Rose is in too. Hello. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. She's on the countdown to Christmas. Last working day tomorrow. So everyone have a great weekend. You have a great weekend too, Rose. Settle yourself in. We'll have some laughs, I promise. Woodhouse 122 was talking about the shrine, the Yanto shrine. I last saw that in 2018 when I had a break.
Wow.
In Cardiff. Yes, it's lovely down there. My son lives in Cardiff Bay, and not about a short walk from Yanto's shrine, come to think of it. I don't think he goes down there very often, mind. He bumps into, I think he saw John Barrowman down there like 3 or 4 weeks ago again.
You know, you asked me where I'd go first. I'd probably go to Wookiee Hole.
I'll watch you back.
Where they filmed the third Doctor.
It's beautiful. I haven't been to Wookiee Hole since I was about 12. But it's a beautiful place.
That's where they filmed the Revenge of the Cybermen, right?
Yeah.
The Wookiee Hole where they go into the caves and stuff. Wasn't that?
Yeah, that's
right.
They
did it a couple of times because isn't there one with Jo as well? She was in a cave as well. That was during the attack. That was another not Cyber one. That was another one though.
Was it? Did they film some of Colony in space down a hole?
Yes,
somewhere?
that's it. Yeah, it was. No, I don't know if it was Colony.
Oh, the mutants, maybe.
It was
the mutants.
Yeah, the mutants. Yep, you're right.
My Pertwee knowledge is very sketchy, as you know.
No.
Not a big person, especially the 6 parters. I get them all bloody mixed up.
We have a lot of caves here anyway, so a cave's a cave.
We've got Cheryl in the live chat there. Hello, all. No, Christians are not offended by Christmas, declares Richard Brooks. I'm pleased to hear it. I'm pleased to hear it.
Really? Really?
Oh, this
I
is
don't
a bit
know
more
about
like
that.
it. Look at this. Cheryl dishing out the Christmas greetings there in the live chat.
Thank you,
Cheryl. With a big old smile. I like it. She loves the Christmas hat, or so do I. I'm very proud of this one. It's very comfortable. I had one before that was very uncomfortable.
I'm going to show off my Christmas shirt. I got my Christmas Dalek shirt.
Oh, wow.
Dalek.
Yeah, it's a Dalek, and the tree is a
Everything,
Dalek.
and there's like a
then
little
you've got all the-
nesting right there.
cool.
Sensational stuff, Gary.
I hope BBC
Merry
is
Christmas,
getting a shot of
everybody.
that.
Pimpling Doubloon is also in the live chat and asks, isn't Ricky's slug character canon now? Russell T Davies has one more episode to write, so there's still time to get it in.
Well, he would have
well, it could
gotten
be.
RTD's permission to do that, though, as well, wouldn't he, Dan?
yeah.
To use.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It'd have been up to his neck in that.
knows what's
Yeah.
to have changed, you know?
Woodhouse says, I'd rather have that than the Absorbaloff. That was Peter Kay, wasn't it? The Absorbaloff thing.
Yeah, he's not looking too crash hot lately either.
Oh, he's a very, very ill man, bless him. Yeah, he's clearly been through the ringer, Peter Kay. We have, what else is in the live chat? What's this? Darren Bradley says, hi, Darren, says, I've just looking at your picture. I just finished watching 1979's Showtime Snowtime special, broadcast from Switzerland with guest presenter Dame Edna. Acts included the Jackson 5, ABBA, Kate Bush, Boney M, and Leo Sayer. Link, please, Darren.
Leo
Link.
Sayer.
P. Wow.
Wow.
Barry Humphries was the best.
It's the Jackson 5. I love the Jackson 5. Well, I used to. I mean, I think there's only three or four.
I like a bit of Kate Bush.
I'm not. No. No. Don't start me off. Okay. Yes, I'd wondered about the symbolism of the poster behind Ricky Gervais too, on that Nicholas Horton standing with the Twin Towers there. Obviously,
Oh,
I don't know if that was
tragically
throwing a
destroyed.
bit of shade too. I don't
be.
know.
You never know with
Maybe we're
Ricky
looking into
Gervais.
it.
You know, as I said, it's as much about the things that he doesn't say as the things that he does. Holly Woke loathes him, says Nicholas Horton. They do now. They do now. They invited him back that one last time, and my God, did he make them squirm? It was incredible. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Go touch tinsel, says Peter Harrington. That us.
As long as it's not me, I'm happy. Go touch your tinsel.
It sounds like something that Shooty Gatwa would say. What he's doing for Christmas. He's probably sat there smiling, got some launch somewhere. These are brand new pictures of Shooty Gatwa this week wearing Christopher Eccleston's. Do you think he's cosplaying as the Ninth Doctor? Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, that could be what he's up to.
Don't mention Ninth Doctor and Shooty in the same sentence.
He looks like he's got his pajamas on. He's left his pajamas on. And he looks like he's also got a bit of well, you could probably tell me what this is, Charlotte, but the stuff that you put on your eyelids, the blue
like
stuff
eyeliner?
that you yeah, and like a bit of that blue stuff that you put on to make it look a little bit more on your
I
eyelids.
just don't know what it is with this guy. When he has got long trousers on, he's always touching his
He's got
bollocks.
makeup
that
on.
picture on the right. I don't know what's
He
the matter
has
with
got
him.
makeup on, Dan.
Oh, he will, definitely.
Yuck.
Matthew Pounder says that being a classic Who fan was something we kept to ourselves, and we've returned to that. It has got that way. I think Charlotte was absolutely right there. Doctor Who has
an
become something
embarrassment.
to take the piss out of, and I see why. We take the piss quite regularly on here, so we can't exactly cry foul there. But it doesn't mean that it's not sad to witness after all that time where it was the biggest thing on TV. David Tennant could get invited onto the same show, extras there, as the likes of Samuel L. Jackson, David Bowie, George Michael, and Kate Winslet. You know, now where is he? You know, he's another one who'll go to any awards ceremony that'll have him. Doctor Who on live support.
I think Type
Pull the
40.
plug.
I think Type 40 should send Shooty some knee pads for Christmas. You know, since
It's the least we could do.
since he's been having so much trouble.
It is the least we could do. Nicholas Horton asks, "Where's my white beard?" It's coming. Believe it or not, it's coming. It's got to the point now where there's more salt than pepper in there. I don't know when that happened. But yeah, who knows? In a couple of years' time, maybe I will be able to sport the all white beard. And yeah, Richard Brooks says that's a decent thing to do for all those lovely animals. Ricky Gervais giving all that money to charity there, divided between 22 animal welfare charities. Proceeds from the mortality tour. Extraordinary gesture, commitment he has to animal interests. What else is here? Only Doom can save. Christmas 2025. Says Richard Brooks.
you know, remember Doom?
Vaguely.
Doomsday. Come on.
Sort of blocked that out as well. Thank you, everybody, for all the comments. Yes,
Creatures.
more coming up, I don't doubt. Matthew Pounder says, "Get in, Blakey." I think that's in reference to the bus
Buses.
comment from Russell T.
Yes.
Davies. Obviously, we do wish Russell T. Davies a healthy and prosperous new year.
Yes,
despite the fact that he's not our favourite person at the moment, no one wants to see Russell T.
Don't
Davies
slip
get
on
run
the
over by the number 9.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't
watch
want to ruin a nice bus like that.
watch your step, Russell. Get that thing written and then fuck off. It has to be. It has to have Billy Piper. Says Bill Silver.
And take your other goons with you too. Don't forget. I don't want them other lot on there. Pete McTeague and all that can go as well.
Oh dear, what are we going to say? Where's it going to go? We're supposed to be covering Doctor Who, aren't we? There's a lot to talk about, believe it or not. We've been scouring the corners, the margins, to see what you may have been missing. So there's plenty more to talk about. Don't you worry about that. Get some more comments in, and we'll see where we end up. I think we know where we're going to end up. Probably all under the bus.
Now, all the time space is falling apart, and the only way to fix that and to help is to watch Type 40. Now, excuse me, I'm off to save Whoniverse.
So we're up and running. Thank fuck for that. After all those months, if not years of talk, The War Between the Land and the Sea is premiering now, of course, Sunday evenings on BBC One, kicking off with 2 double bills, and then it'll finish off with a slightly longer 5th episode. I think it's 55 minutes or so. That's on that last Sunday before Christmas. People are talking about the show. It's been reasonably well received for something vaguely connected with Doctor Who. I'm not sure whether many people have realised that it is connected with Doctor Who because it's on quite late, and the scant mention of anything Who related. And of course, the only characters that are real crossovers are a bunch of non-entities that most people won't have paid much attention to before. So, yeah, it's finally with us. We're 2 episodes in, and you can catch up with those. They're streaming. They're on the iPlayer in perpetuity. If you're in Britain, people overseas have got to wait until it's on Disney Plus at some point next year to get their fill of legitimate War Between the Land and the Sea. So yeah, it's they're picking up. Obviously, there's cliffhanger ending to episode 2. It's all gone a bit pear-shaped. The diplomatic conversations, engagement, and they have demanded all of our water, and they are raining their revenge, aren't they? But they've come to a compromise. As long as Barclay meets the aquakind at the bottom of the ocean, everything, they'll resume talks. That's where we left them. And Barclay, being not very bright, he immediately said, yeah, okay, why not? Have you been thinking much about this over the last few days, Gary, how it may resolve? Or have you been happy to leave the War Between the Land and the Sea behind you for 72 hours?
Is it only 72 hours?
Something like that.
I kind of thought wish it would have been more. No, I'm moving on to other things until Sunday, when I have to jump in again. But
turn your back on the new Sea Devils there.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I still don't know what the budget for this is. So we're either going to get like a huge big budget, like underwater, like Atlantis type thing, or we're just going to get like meeting rooms where they're just in the meeting rooms that we're being told they're underwater. Otherwise, they'll just look like regular offices.
I'm expecting more of that kind of thing, like you get on The Mandalorian, and that they had on that episode where Shooty was shat. That's a Freudian slip. Shooty was sat on that explosive device. What's it called? Boom. So I think it'll be one of those kind of like the volume surroundings where it's all on a video wall, and it'll be the bottom of the ocean, and they're probably playing a lot of dry ice to make it seem like we're underwater. I think that'd be the measure of it. Charlotte, what do you think?
I think they'll probably have one central room where you will see quite a bit of production. You'll see quite a bit of money. And then, like you say, everything else would just be caves or that sort of the recycled stuff that Who always uses. But I think, like I said, they'll have that big sort of central thing. Like how, to be fair, with the first 2 episodes, the most of that room where Barclay and you had the pictures there, most of it was quite plain. It was the tank which was the big sort of eye-catching thing. So I think they'll do that, but in reverse, if that makes sense. So
Oh,
And
so
that
they
was a
will.
lift. That was a lift from Children of Earth, where they had that big tank
Yeah.
with the 39 or whatever the characters were,
It's
that they were
very.
behind the glass. I just look, I mean, 90, it seemed to felt to me that taken together, these first 2 episodes were like 90% talk. Talk, 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 talk. And then the big garbage storm at the end. I hope that now that it's been set up, I hope we move away from just the constant talk, and it's more than just
Yeah,
that.
so do I. I want more Sea Devil action, because obviously the Sea Devils are just one of 3 or more races that make up Aquakind in this. So they haven't done a great deal yet, but I'm quite a fan of this redesign. So I want to see more of them. I'm keener. I like everything from the neck up. I'm less keen on everything from the neck down. It's all a little bit generic sci-fi monsterish, I suppose. But yeah, I find them quite sinister, and I think it's a great redesign. But whilst we're sort of living with this and getting used to this, we've had a bit of a shock dropped on social media, because as with most modern dramas, they're supporting the war between the land and the sea with a lot of supplementary materials, of videos, reels on various social medias. And they've sort of given the game away, really, about one aspect of the production. When you look in the background of one of the reels, it turns out now Joel Collins is the guy who redesigned the Sea Devils this time for the war between the land and the sea. Now, he's a producer at Bad Wolf, and he's also got his own special effects company and graphics place based there as well. He's responsible for this redesign, but he wasn't the first person to work on it. It turns out that Neil Gorton of Millennium Effects, who's redesigned so many Doctor Who monsters, he had a go initially, and you can see them here on some of the reels on the official social media accounts there. So he says here, I did a number of designs based on the idea and of doing it as a prosthetic makeup. And here are some head sculpts there of what we could have had for the new war between Sea Devils. So you're quite undecided on the latest revamp, Gary. Do you like these any better?
I really like the middle one. The middle one really looks similar to a Sea Devil. The other 2 are very imaginative, especially around the neck, and the top of the chest with all of the, I don't know what they would be, scales or whatever. But the faces of the first and the third one look just a little bit too human to me. I think the second one is like the sweet spot that gets it really close to the original.
Nicholas Horton, he agrees with you, the middle one. I think it's because the features are more pointed. The other 2 look a little bit too sort of forlorn. Yeah, these look much better, says Woodhouse 122. Much better, says Matthew Pounder. And Peter Harrington said it's good to hear Neil's name again. He was good. Have you been following this, Matt? I mean, have you caught the war between the land and the sea?
No, I caught the making of with these particular things, but to be honest, I don't like any of them.
You're not so keen on these
if
either?
I had to choose, I'd probably say the middle one, because the other ones look too alien to me, whereas this one looks more earthen. But no, I mean, to me, you had a great design already with the Sea Devils, and I feel that they've just humanized them too much, too much. And there's this whole again, they've sexualized them. I don't want them sexualized. I don't want them even mentioning the fact. But that's just Russell at the moment, and it's unfortunate that he has to decide to try and ruin another great creation that he had nothing to do with.
He stipulated to Joel Collins and anybody, I suppose, who was working on it, that the beak kept and the black eyes. There are certain markers there that are the same. And if you notice the way that the ridges, I suppose, from above the eye all sort of tapers up to create that sort of forehead arse that they've both got there from the original 72 one and the current one. So I think they have tried to do a good job. It's so difficult to please people with this sort of thing, Charlotte, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and honestly, I prefer because I saw these pictures because a few people sent them to me saying, "Oh, look, these are like first designs or first goes. What do you think?" And I actually prefer what we got on screen because I think these, even the middle one, is better, but they have got too much, I think, of that human influence there. With which, if you're gonna have human features, if you're gonna go that way, that needs to sort of take more priority. Whereas here, I feel like they're trying to have their cake and eat it. They're trying to have the green and the scales and those traditional features, but the eyes are human. So it doesn't connect with me. Whereas
I agree.
in the designs we see on screen, at least you've got Salt that they've gone full blown. Yes, you're going to fully see the human, and with some fish sort of qualities, and then you've got like the foot soldiers, which are clearly more monster like. And for me, I prefer it when they're more separate like that. Than that weird combination.
You know, I think also the fact that they really missed an opportunity here where they should have had them come up to the surface and say, hey, you know, for years you guys have been eating us, so we're going to eat you. And it would have been so much better, you know, but they don't think that way.
Yeah.
It's like it's got to be all diplomacy, and
Well, at the beginning of episode
it's like the fifth
1,
season of Babylon 5.
at the beginning of episode 1, Matt, there's a brilliant scene that really does sort of set your teeth on edge and hype you up, I suppose, for what could be coming. Whereby one of the sea devils, well, what we see, we're on the deck of a trawler ship, and they've clearly got a load of fish in a great big fishing net like that. And the fishing net starts to shake. It's full of fish. And then there's a squawking sound from the middle of it. And a sea devil kind of bursts out with its mouth wide open, sort of rattling a scream, which sounds like a more heightened version of the screams that we used to have from the original Sea Devils in 1972. But we never get a moment like that with them after that I can remember, do we, Gary? No, the next time
Are
we
you
see
talking
one,
about like a scary moment?
Yeah, I don't. There's another scary moment with the actual sea devil.
The next time we see one is that creature who was caught in the net strung up, and then that confrontation when one of them comes out of the water, and then they all in that cove, and then they all gather together and they're trying to communicate with that one. Yeah.
Sorry, Gary.
But I mean,
I was just going to ask a question. The one on the right, is that supposed to be called? Because that other one that you showed earlier, with the two side by side, the other one as well. Yeah. Is that right? They're Homo erectus?
It's called,
Are you serious?
yes, it's Homo spondyle erectus.
Oh, you got to be joking. That's just far out.
And
That's just
the one on the
fantasies again.
The one on the left are called Homo amphibia because they're amphibians, whereas obviously the sea devils are more sort of turtle kind of like.
Unbelievable.
So you don't feel like you're missing out on too much?
No.
Too much for the time being.
No.
Do a poll on this, won't we? I really like them, but
I really miss the left
develop
ones.
it.
I really miss the left ones, especially the fact that they have a longer neck. It makes them less human.
I mean, I look at these pictures, and the one on the left is still so beautiful. And the only thing I can think is, don't fix what's not broken. That is still a gorgeous design on the left.
I think it's also the fact that it has realistic eyes, whereas the other ones just go black and that's it. And they don't feel like they have a soul.
Yeah. I think that they were right to redesign them, even though it was only a couple of years ago we saw, and I did like the Sea Devils in Legend. I think they were right to redesign them. I don't think for my money, this is no more of a radical redesign than Neil Gorton's Sontarans from the Sontaran, the Poison Sky and the Sontaran Stratagem, was it? Back in 2008. I think this is just about in line with that. So I haven't got an issue with it at all. But I understand why people are a bit sort of rankled by it. Because the things that have changed, I probably wouldn't have put the fins like that on the top of the head. I would have more have kept that kind of fin from the original show, which made it look almost like they'd got hair. almost like they were rockers or Klingons or something. I'd probably
To
kept
me,
that.
it
But other than that, I really like it.
I think to me it looks more like a mask than an actual character or being. It looks like similar to the Silurians, where they have that mask and then they take it off. I'm half expecting them to take this off, so it just doesn't. Yeah,
I think you're right, Dan. We've not seen enough of them. I think because it was so sort of Barclay human centric, those first 2 episodes, and then Salt took up another good chunk of it, that we really only got, because I've been thinking while you lot have been talking, you're right, we had the scene with the fish, it coming out of the fishing. You had that scene when they were stood in the sea and they were like communicating for the first time, and maybe one more when they were first coming into the tank. That's about 3 scenes that I think basically the more creature-like designs, the more monster designs were on show. Otherwise, it's basically been humans or Salt. So with them now going underneath the sea for the next episode, if they don't get a lot more of a showing, I do think that would be a real shame and a real missed opportunity. So I'm hoping they do.
We need more of the fantastical and less
Yes.
of the HR department stood around staring at computer screens. And this, strangely enough, is a brand new picture from the double bill that's coming on this Saturday. So I mean, this can't be at the bottom of the ocean because none of that equipment would work, would it? But they have put out some other pictures as well, but this was the one that made me laugh the most. So this is the one you're getting. That's obviously the back. I believe that's the back of Kate Stewart.
Yeah,
who is obviously she's.
Who's seeing that from? Is that a boyfriend saying that?
That's what they call a POV from
Matt,
Colonel Sexy Boy.
Matt, that's why you need to watch these first 2 episodes, because you get the scene where he comes home and then starts like fondling her.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh geez, no. Is
Matty,
the Blinks
really...
also in this?
The Blinks isn't in it. It turns out they forgot to put it on charge, so the Blinks isn't in it. But Colonel Sexy Boy, he really goes for it.
Oh my god!
he gives her what for. There's an Americanization to most new Who designs, says Matthew. Americanization, Matthew. I don't know what you mean.
I don't know what that.
What does that mean, Gary?
I think that's kind of like a backhanded insult, but I'm not sure exactly what it means.
Yeah, you can stay anyway.
But see, you know what, Matthew? That's why I like British shows so much. British mysteries, British sci-fi, whatever, because Americans, you're right, Matt, do tend to screw things up a lot, you know?
No, it's really just when they try to make their own versions of things, I think is what he means.
Yeah.
You know, like if a British show is popular, then America will try to make it and just totally balls it up.
Yes.
Make their own.
Red Dwarf.
Is that how it works?
I just think PD, that's
Vicar of
my
Dibley.
favourite name for the Blinks now. Where's Blinksy Blinks?
Speaking of almighty cock-ups.
A very happy Doctor Who day.
Let's get some good news for a change. I think this is pretty good news because I haven't seen a picture of Jenna Coleman for a while, and here she is. This was released just a couple of days ago. Obviously, Jenna became a mother last year. Congratulations again on that one, Jenna. But
Yeah, I was going to say she was looking a bit tired.
she looked shagged out. Worse than Kate Stewart. After that time with Colonel Sexy Boy. Yeah, so here she is. She is holding a clapperboard. This was a publicity picture to announce the commencing of production on a brand new show. Jenna's been confirmed as one of the stars of Stephen Moffat's new series for Channel 4, just started filming. So Stephen is writing and executive producing Number 10. And this is 2 years since he worked with Karen Gillan. That was the ITV show Douglas is Cancelled. If you remember, where's that? This one. Yes, there she is. There's Karen Gillan. And I never got around to seeing this, but apparently it was really, really good. So Stephen Moffat does keep re-employing actors that he's played well with before. And I can't say I blame him for that. Jenna Coleman will star alongside Rafe Spall, who plays the Prime Minister in number 10, and Catherine Kelly's also there from Mr. Selfridge and Coronation Street. It's all set in Downing Street. I think it's a straight comedy or a comedy drama. Apparently it's meant to be quite topical. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty formidable cast. I've never seen Jenna Coleman do comedy before. I've seen Rafe Spall try to, and I think he's a pretty versatile actor. I'm sure he can do that. Catherine Kelly's an actress who I've always liked, and pretty much anything that she's doing, I will give time to. So this could be good. I think this could be okay. So what are your thoughts, Gary?
Well, you said it's a comedy. So number 10, I assume it's going to be Downing Street. So is this going to be kind of like a thick of it tone type of
would imagine it'll be less sort of biting than that, because obviously Stephen Moffat's never worked in government. I would imagine it'll be more about sort of people really in there. Then again, did they ever confirm in the thick of it which party was which? Because Stephen Moffat has said that he won't be saying whether it's a left-wing or a right-wing government. I can't see how he can write a show like this and not give that away. But Stephen Moffat is quite a clever writer, Charlotte. So maybe he can.
It utterly depends in. Sorry, folks, I've got a croaky throat today. It depends his intention. I think that's always the thing with these kind of shows. If you're going in, sort of having a bit of an axe to grind, sort of trying to have certain targets in mind, then yeah, it'd be hard to not have people say, oh, that's clearly this politician or this party they're sort of lampooning. But if you don't have that in mind and just have, sort of like you said, a personal approach and just let's look at how people in power work, let's look at how teams and how dynamics and all of that works, then you probably could get away with it. Like I said, it's just with what lens. And Moffat, luckily, seems to be one of those writers that doesn't seem to have that need to use his work to attack as much as other writers right now. So we will see.
He's not angry. I don't think he's necessarily angry.
Yes,
I'm sure there are things that he's. I'm sure there's things that he's grumpy about and things that he'd change, but I think he's a different kind of animal, Matt. I think he's a lot more mature. I think he's a lot more tolerant in the truest sense of the word, and he's obviously very loyal because he's worked with, I think, most of these actors on various projects.
Yeah,
before or after Doctor Who.
That Rafe Spall, is he the one that was he in Jurassic Park movie or something?
Everybody was in a Jurassic Park movie.
At this point. Well,
you don't recognize him because he's not covered in sweat and running away from a velociraptor. Whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he was a businessman or something. But yeah, that's where I think I've seen him before. But yeah, as long as this is the issue that I've got, is the fact that they lately, all these writers have either been going into the whole sex fest or going into political arenas. And in today's world, it's not like it used to be where it was just oblivious to what the parties were or to what people's sexuality was. Now it's just we have to put it in here because that's how we do things now. And it loses something. It really does. As soon as you start going on about sex or political agendas and that, it's just, look at Doctor Who.
I have a request. I hope that since Moffat's doing it and since Jenna's in it, they have a scene where like there's like a hall or something and there's like pictures of a lot of royals on the wall and there's a picture of Prince Philip, but it looks like Matt Smith.
And a prince,
since he played it in The Crown, they really need to do that.
Maybe. I'm interested in the fact that he's working again for someone else, anybody other than the BBC. I mean, Channel 4 is publicly funded, that's true, but his last project was for ITV. Before that, it was for HBO, was it? He did the Time Traveler's Wife for.
Yeah,
so,
and he's also he did a Peter Capaldi show, and I think that was on Apple. So he is fully, like you said, working.
Yeah,
for
he did that
everybody.
evil one. Is that right, Charlotte? There was an evil one. where he was evil.
Yeah,
and
he
was
wasn't playing a
time
good guy.
traveler or something.
I can't
No,
remember if it
that's,
was
I
I can't remember what it was
fantastical.
called. Was it called The Devil Inside? Something like that.
Yes.
That one.
That was the
They made a
Capaldi
second
thing.
series of that.
That was for Netflix. So yeah,
Oh, I thought it was
he's
Amazon.
working. He's working for everybody but the BBC. Again, it's as much about the things they don't say as the things that they do. Of course, you may recognise the fair Catherine Kelly as well, Doctor Who fans. She was the enigmatic Miss Quill in Class back in 2016. She was a real get for the Whoniverse back then. I thought she was fantastic in that role, desperately underused, very, very sexy woman, and an intriguing character that she brought to life beautifully. I'd have loved to have seen it if there was any justice, that character would have survived the demise of Class, because there was something there. Those scenes where she was with Peter Capaldi, if they'd have been put together for a Christmas special, I think that could have been quite good. So it would be a shame if she's never back in Doctor Who at all. I hope that playing Miss Quill that won't ever happen. But yeah, it's she was effectively the lead of that show. She was sort of like the Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I think she was meant to be, Miss Quill was meant to be that sort of figure, wasn't she, for the kids of Class, and it never really came to anything. That's a great shame.
Never watched it.
I haven't
never
seen it since
actually
it was
saw that
on.
one.
I haven't seen it since it was on.
I have it on
but,
Blu-ray somewhere, but it's still sealed. It was just
people
at that
generally-
time where
People generally hate it, but I found it very imaginative, and obviously they only made 8 of them. It could have really gone somewhere if they'd have brought it back, but sadly it was not to be. And whether this will be a hit or not, I couldn't possibly say. Stephen Moffat hasn't. How can I put this? More of his shows have been successful than not, but he does take a lot of chances, and I think this is quite a bold choice for him to make at a time where people are a bit overloaded with politics of any kind. I think it's almost at the point where it's the last thing that they want to laugh about. They kind of want to think about it as little as possible, even if they like the actors involved. So I'll definitely be following the project. Obviously, I wish Stephen Moffat well with this. And seriously, it is great to see Jenna Coleman back on the telly, Matt. I have missed her.
Yes, well, I thankfully have a 12-inch doll of Clara, so I haven't really missed it that much. But I'm really surprised that they're actually doing filming now, whereas not doing it in the new year. They're going to do it pretty close. That's all to Christmas, so I don't know
weird,
how
isn't it,
that
when
works with their. Yeah, very much so. I honestly thought they would do that in around February or something. So, yeah,
Well, to
no
be
rest for the
fair,
wicked.
if it's a comedy, they tend to not be as intensive shoots. Like, if it's not like there's going to be loads of action scenes or stunt work or things like that. So it would make sense that you can start it now. Obviously, have the Christmas break where they'll go home and then come back in the new year.
Okay.
Christmas break, yeah. Get the mince pies out around at Jenna's place. I'm sure she'll be well stocked in the nicest possible way, of course. Yes, number 10 does not have an official premiere date yet, but we'll be keeping tabs on that. See if we can, catch it and give you our opinion on that too. You can get our opinions, of course, on the war between the land and the sea. On the 2 episodes we've had so far, we did our reaction show, our reaction and reviews as part of our early edition on Monday. That was a lot of fun. We'll be back again this coming Monday for the next 2 episodes. But yeah, you want to get on these and find out what we've got to say as we went through both episodes, sort of blow by blow, beat by beat, and all of those talking points as well there that are everywhere in the media. I think it's going better than certainly I expected. So you can find out what we thought on Type 40 Live, the war between 1 and 2, as well as everything else that's in the playlist there. Jump in on our event shows and our regular news shows too. There's the Type 40 podcast across all major podcatchers as always, or the home feed at type40.podbean.com. We're watching Type 40 Live, Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook here, getting into the Christmas spirit, although not quite at the spirits for now. We're going to stay relatively in control, he says, hopefully. Okay, so yes, it's time. I think it's time. Let's take a break. Answer a call of nature. maybe, or simply enjoy a few blasts from the telly past when our legends were flogging us all manner of stuff that we probably didn't need in the first place or was bad for us or whatever. Lots of Christmas tat coming up to get you even more in the spirit, and we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes.
Incredible.
Spend $4.99 on an Iceland chicken and get free potatoes, peas, and lemon meringue pie worth £4.37.
Iceland, make it easy.
For Mum.
My name is Martin.
Hello, Martin.
I have been to the edge. There's toppings at the edge. Loads of toppings piled really high on a thin, crisp base. And you know the best thing? There's no outer crust, just chunky, tangy toppings that go all the way. When I'm at the edge, I feel like I'm king of the world. I'm Mr. Invincible. Yeah!
The Edge from Pizza Hut. Have you been to the edge?
My Christmas by Alison. I got a lovely new dress, and Mummy loved me in it. And Nick got a super pullover with a puppy on it. And Grandpa played Jingle Bells again, just like last year. And Jason got a smashing present that made everybody laugh. And Daddy did a terrific magic show. And everybody had the most wonderful Christmas ever. And Mummy made the gravy.
I thought you were cutting down this year.
I have. Because it's 3 for 2 at Boots, I got the cheapest one free. Disco ball, raw jelly gift sets, so this was free. Okay.
All right.
They've got mix and match on thousands of gifts, which means I could afford to get you something really special.
Well, we'd agreed we were only buying token presents, didn't we?
Yes, we're back with more Christmassy Type 40 live on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook, covering the past, the present, and the future of Doctor Who, if it's got one, and not necessarily in that order. What a load of nonsense so far. There's more to come. You'll be pleased to learn you've come to the right place. Results may vary, of course. We've got the panel still here too. They've not moved a muscle, have you guys? Under arrest. And a panel,
I've just got
a
a
panel
drink.
there, still letting fly with comments. Whipped cream on mine, says Matthew Pounder. You mucky pup.
What on your
What you do
fish?
in what you do in the privacy of your own boudoir is your business, my friend. You enjoy.
I like
enjoy.
a bit of tartar sauce.
I want to ask Charlotte. Charlotte, were you talking about the Devil's Hour, the Capaldi show, where he's like like a supernatural type of thing?
Yeah,
Is that what you
I
were
just
talking
remember
about?
he'd done something else with another Doctor Who person. Like Dan said, that wasn't on the BBC. I just
Right, with the woman who played Verity Lambert in the
That's
Adventure
right.
in Space and Time. But they've already done 2 series of that. It was always designed as a trilogy. They've already filmed the 3rd season. I think it's going to air sometime this year, but that will wrap it up.
She's gorgeous as well. That girl who played Verity Lambert. She was out of Call the Midwife, wasn't she? Can't remember her name, but she was great. I thought it was called The Devil's Hour, but he also did a series called The Hour with that guy who played Q in the Bond films.
Oh, that was like
I thought
that was like a
right.
decade ago. That was a long. Jessica Raine is the one we're trying to think of.
Yeah, she's really, really beautiful. Okay, what have we got here? I've always liked Clara. Jenna Coleman as Clara,
me too.
says Bill Silver.
Like I said, I've got a doll. I'm happy.
Bisto, says Peter Harrington there, enjoying the adverts. Don't we all? Yes. What else is here? Yes, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what Peter's talking about in the live chat there, but he's having fun, and that's all that really matters. Getting into the Christmas spirit here. So yeah, the trimmings are going up. The tree is definitely up, and the tinsel is down from the loft. So
what?
Nothing. I just yes.
Yeah. So
Someone was saying about their tree being up.
So yeah, we're decking the hall, and we're hanging the tinsel wherever we can for the next week or two. Of course we are, but we've known for some months despite the fact Doctor Who had this sort of blazing comeback not that long ago, and this big launch where Shooting Outward was turning on Christmas lights and all manner of other things, it's actually come to nothing in the finish. And if you do lay down your £6.50 for the Christmas Radio Times this year, you'll see that Doctor Who is not there on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. It's absent from the mainstream schedules, just when people were getting used to it being back. It's not sending the best signal. Like, we all know why that's happened. We've all read the statements, but the general public, they don't know. And to be frank, they don't care. Why should they? All they'll realize is that Doctor Who isn't where they would usually expect to find it. I mean, as a Type 40 faithful, of course, you were here, weren't you? Yes, you were here in January. We told you that there wouldn't be a Doctor Who Christmas special this year. And we were bang on. We were absolutely right. So we've had a lot of time to get used to.
Wrong, but we were right.
That's right.
I don't know what you mean.
No, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
The BBC have tried to make up for it by packing the schedules with movies and family sort of treats, short form animations, as always. So there is stuff in there, specials of comedies, long form documentaries, and some of their most popular dramas there. They're all in the mix with some festive favourites. But the thing is, the problem is that the BBC, like every TV channel, certainly in Britain, all the new stuff that they're making isn't really growing that much of an audience. So there's not so many familiar faces for people to go back to, or icons such as just the TARDIS. So it's all there anyway. But no Doctor Who. Obviously, the main 4 channels, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are all part of the mix when it comes to the BBC, and they do spread things around. Sometimes shows that complement, support one another. And there is a lot of support, to be fair, for The War Between the Land and the Sea, because that wraps up just a couple of days before Christmas on December the 21st. So there's plenty of opportunities to catch that in various forms and in various places. They are making good on that. Aside from that, though, it seems to be falling mostly to BBC Three to remind people that Doctor Who exists or even existed. Now, in recent months, BBC Three has been running the Matt Smith episode, Charlotte, sometimes in double bills or singles, hasn't it, on Saturday in Doctor Who's traditional slot.
Yeah, and I was intrigued if they were just going to do a couple and then stop, but it looks like they did do a full run of Series 5, which I was happy to hear. Like, there were a few stops and starts, but people were telling me, and like when I looked, I was like, no, they are going through that series. And yeah, to be fair, BBC Three used to be where you'd watch reruns. Like, I can remember growing up, I spent lots of time watching Doctor Who on BBC Three. That was old episodes at that point for me, which was still current, but I'd watched them years before, and then I'd watch them
for
again
several
quite
years.
happily.
For several years, Charlotte, it was on most days, wasn't it? It was like 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. Don't Tell the Bride and Doctor Who. You could guarantee they were on most nights.
Yeah, you'd get some modern Who somewhere on BBC Three, so it's nice that they've returned to that, I think, this year.
Obviously, at one time, even BBC One used to repeat the Doctor Who Christmas specials when they built up quite an archive of them, and there's so many of them from Doctor Who's heyday. Obviously, we had that brief revival with Shooting Outward that's ultimately led to where we find ourselves now. Happily, though, there are repeats of some Doctor Who Christmas specials on over the period. So if you don't own them on physical media, or if you like to watch them with your family or want to introduce them to your family, maybe if they were too young to see them at the time, or they've caught more recent Doctor Who, and you've tried to tell them there was a time when this show used to be good, here's an opportunity whereby they can see for themselves, mostly on BBC Three. So here's the schedule for the BBC. This is the mainstream BBC TV and radio channels only. And yeah, it's this Saturday, the 13th of December, Voyage of the Damned is there, Charlotte, on BBC Three again. So although it's not a Matt Smith special, they are making sure that Doctor Who isn't forgotten in one way, aren't they?
Yeah, and to be fair, Voyage of the Damned is a very Christmassy Christmas special. Like you've got tinsel, you've got the angels, it's you've got Astrid with the stars, sort of stuff to do with her. Yeah, and look at that promotion. It was that, to be fair, that's what Russell did so well with, especially the Tennant stuff. It felt so Christmassy and
Yeah.
festive, and everywhere was celebrating the fact that it was Christmas. And I think having that back in any form is just what they need to be doing, because so much of the show has lost its identity. Like we've said this, and I think I've said this very recently. It's forgotten what it was. The show feels like it can't quite remember why it worked and what was beloved about it. So just getting those specials, and Voyage is quite a good one to put up for that.
If I remember correctly, Voyage of the Damned, Gary, was the highest rated Christmas special of them all. I don't think they ever topped that. Whatever was screened, whether it was Regeneration Stories afterwards, David Tennant, Kylie Minogue, Christmas Day 2007, that was pretty much the peak as regards ratings on the main channel on the biggest TV day of the year. So I think it's quite understandable that BBC Three bring this one back out.
Yeah. Well, there's like several, good ones that they could be. I mean, I'm glad that the main New Who doctors like Tennant, Matt Smith, Capaldi, all had at least one really excellent Christmas special. Tennant had this one. Matt had Christmas Carol. Peter Capaldi had Last Christmas, which was fantastic. So I'm glad that it was spread around, that the really good Doctor Who Christmas specials weren't just with one doctor.
The Doctor Who Christmas specials actually waned for me. I actually stopped watching them for a time. I would actually catch up with them on when they came out in physical media. I just they just became tiresome to me. And then, if I wanted a bit of Doctor Who, then, I'd probably put something on that I hadn't watched, which probably would have been them. But they just never really excited me at Christmas. And I suppose that may also be the fact that we didn't get to see these till after Boxing Day. So, they weren't our Christmas treat. They were a Boxing Day treat. So by Boxing Day night, so it just didn't feel the same. So therefore, I just didn't really, Christmas was over for as far as I was concerned. So, it just didn't really feel right. So
a lot of it is the memories attached to the occasion and the circumstances when people watch them. I think P.D. Rich says here, The Voyage of the Damned is probably the best Christmas special. It was nominated for a ton of awards. Kelly says, Voyage of the Damned was so good. This is a very, very popular choice. Indeed.
I mean, after that atrocious one with Catherine Tate, anything was better than that. The Runaway Bride.
That's my favourite one. The Runaway Bride is my favourite one. Yeah. So there's Voyage of the Damned there. Saturday the 13th of December on BBC Three at 7:00, proper Doctor Who time slot. And they're also repeating both episodes so far of The War Between the Land and the Sea. That's coming as well. The following day, more War Between the Land and the Sea, of course, Sunday. That's the two brand new episodes on BBC One, again, from 8:30 through to about 10:15, something like that. And then on Tuesday the 16th, there's a further repeat from 7:00 in the evening, once again on BBC Three, of that second double bill of the spin-off. So BBC Three has it covered one way or another. There is more. There's a lot more. So the next Doctor follows on Wednesday, the 17th of December. And then directly after that is A Christmas Carol, the one you were talking about, Gary. So there's a lot more coming. A David Tennant one, followed directly by a Matt Smith episode on Wednesday, and then a further double bill the night after on Thursday, the 17th, with two Matt Smith specials, The Doctor, The Widow and the Wardrobe, and The Snowmen. So they're coming thick and fast. 3 Matt Smith episodes in 2 nights.
That's great. I mean, obviously, I mean, like Charlotte, I mean, I love Matt Smith. If this is all there's going to be, I would replace the Narnia episode with Last Christmas. You know, no, I'm not. That's not derisive. I mean, it was a Narnia episode. I mean, there was so much Narnia.
Yeah, I know
image
there was
in that Dr. Widow in the Wardrobe, but I thought that was, of all of Matt's Christmas specials, I would rank that kind of as the least one. And Last Christmas was so strong. I thought if that's, and I'm glad they're showing all these, but if that's all the ones they're showing, I wish they'd find a way to fit that Capaldi one in there.
To me, the Capaldi one sort of deviated from Christmas because
Really?
you had that Mysterio, Dr. Mysterio, and you had
that was just a comic
the
book
husbands of River Song and
well, but
and,
that was those were his subsequent ones. The first one that he did Last Christmas was
the one with the Christmas Santa
was his
Claus.
best. Yeah, nothing says Christmas like little, you know, alien face huggers, you know, getting on you. So they should have.
I'd rather watch Aliens than.
It's a good Christmas for Matt Smith fans. I think this could be in line with those repeats, Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Matt's sort of Doctor is rising and rising in this sort of, because the current show isn't working for a lot of the fan base, they are going back. And Matt's Doctor, I've said this, I think he still has got this mystique because he's sort of never really gone back for anything really to do with Who. Like Capaldi hasn't, but he's done more interviews or he's been a bit more sort of linked in some ways with it, whereas I think Matt, because he sort of went off to Hollywood and did these other things and is now incredibly popular, he's just had a big thing on Sky, this drama, which people have really been raving about. So I think we just want to almost go back in time, I feel like, right now with Matt, and go back to when we had him in the role when he was not this big famous actor and sort of relive that.
Adding to that, I think also Matt Smith's Doctor is still the most modern Doctor. Like you could go back and it still feels like you're watching today, like what we should be getting. Yes, what we should be getting now. You know, there's no, it's ageless.
And I will say to be fair, because I didn't want to come off as too negative, that Dr. Witch in the Wardrobe, that the art for the episode, I think is gorgeous. I mean, that is just beautiful promotional art that they did. And I think that one thing that, you know, credit where it's due to Russell T Davies for this Tennant ones, he took the genius move of casting in the main role actors that people already knew. Like, even if you weren't a Doctor Who fan, it's like, wow, Kylie Minogue's on Doctor Who, I'm going to watch that. You know, or who was the singer Catherine
Jenkins.
Jenkins in Christmas Carol. It's like, oh, Catherine Jenkins, you know, and they give her a song to sing. And everybody in the Next Doctor knew who that actor was. So it really upped the chances of bringing in non-Who fans in the general audience because they already knew somebody was going to be in it.
But I think with Matt, the sort of why people are going back to him a lot right now, I think people just want the alienness back.
Yeah.
I think we've had, the Doctor has become so watered down and has become such a human character right now. And we just want the odd man again. We want the alien. We want that old man in the young man's body, all those traits, which really you only purely get those traits with Matt. With Capaldi, it was different traits. But with Matt, it was those things. And I think that's what people are gravitating back towards a lot right now.
I think also Matt solved a lot of problems, whereas in recent Doctors, they've all done it by accident. Matt actually, you know, worked out the problems that were in front of him, and got it right. You know, I miss that.
So Dan, let me ask you, somebody who is on the other side of the world, does BBC Three, do the shows they put on BBC Three generally tend to pull in big audiences, or is it
Not
just a
especially.
channel where they put?
I don't think it works like that I don't think it works like that in mainstream television anymore. And BBC's 3 and 4 are deliberately targeted at a specific demographic. 1 and 2 are still targeted for the most part at everyone. The brand of content is different in tone. BBC Two is seen as the home of arts programming and what little sport the BBC have managed to hang on to, and some sort of higher end, more literate dramas and things. Whereas BBC One is as mainstream as it can possibly be. That's what it's for the whole family.
Right.
That is the biggest channel in the country. BBC's 3 and 4 each have a precise sort of remit and demographic that, as part of their charter, that they're deliberately aimed at. With BBC Three, it's a demographic of between 17 and sort of 26 or 27 year olds. So it's specifically at an age group more so. Curious.
That's a good age for Matt.
It seems to work.
Good age for Matt.
It used to work for them. I mean, the big mistake they made with BBC Three was taking it off air. They discontinued the channel in 2016, and they only brought it. They brought it back eventually about 3 or 4 years ago, but by that point, again, the TV landscape had changed. So they've had a hard time re-establishing it here. They could do a lot worse than go back to Doctor Who. They certainly have been over the last few months here with the Matt Smith revival. So yeah, there's even more Matt Smith coming up. The Day of the Doctor and the Time of the Doctor, a further Matt Smith double bill. That's Friday the 19th of December there. So yeah, they're not scrimping on the Matt Smith. It's all of his specials get a repeat showing across the next couple of weeks. So again, I think this is more confirmation, if it was needed, Gary, that this era is the one that's seen as in fashion at the moment and prime for revival.
Matt, you were gone too soon. We could have. I would have loved at least one more season.
I always feel I'm glad that Matt got the film and got the anniversary. I really am happy that he got that. I just feel like if it was any other Doctor, it wouldn't have, as in new Doctors, it just wouldn't have felt, as important and as special if he hadn't have been the current Doctor. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
Catherine Jenkins has a wonderful set of lungs, according to Matthew Powder.
We've always said that.
Nicholas Horton says BBC 3 and 4 tend to show more mature related stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily mature. I mean, have you seen some of the BBC 3? But it is obviously it's not for children. It's not. None of it's aimed at the family audience necessarily. So it is very precise. No, Peter Capaldi Christmas specials. Stephen O'Neill asks. Well, that's for me to know. For you to find out.
Maybe next year.
Well, there's more. There's more because okay. So yes, there's the Day of the Doctor and the Time of the Doctor, one after the other on Friday, the 19th of December. Matt Smith's final 2 appearances, yet not just as the Doctor, but in the series at all. Charlotte, such a long time ago now. Just like you were saying, it's added to the mystique that he hasn't been back, but they really do at the same time need to get him back. I feel.
Yeah, I think we've sort of said this between ourselves. If he was announced as being part of the 60th, I think everybody would have skyrocketed, at least to watch, even if it was just one with him in. I think really the appetite is there, and it'd be such a shame if.
I think he would have acted her off the screen though, Charlotte.
Sorry, say that again.
I think he would have acted Jodie off the screen though on that anniversary. So I don't think that they wanted to do those current Doctors. And if you look at it, for the 60th, was it the Power of the Doctor that they did for the 60th?
No, the ones Russell's did, the 60th anniversary. I'm saying there was a real want there for Matt. There was like fake stuff getting made with him. That there was loads of photos that weren't real. Like there was a real appetite.
But I actually think Matt nailed it, because it's like none of the stories in the Matt Smith era have aged. You could still watch them now, and they just
That's what I've just said, Gary.
No, I just said that you nailed it. That's what I said.
Oh, you were talking about me, Matt.
I was talking
Okay.
about you, Matt. I said that Matt Pott, our distinguished panelist. Let me clarify. You nailed it when you said that the Matt Smith era has not aged at all. You can still watch the episodes, and they all still.
I think also, the fact that Gary, I think they didn't do as many modern, going to modern Earth as they did with the David Tennant era. So he was going back in time and history, and the snowmen one and everything was all done in the past, and there was just so much that wasn't modern. They did that back with the Capaldi one, where Clara was back in school and all that, and it didn't fit, did it? Whereas with Matt Smith's, he was going onto alien planets or alien spaceships, or going back in history or forward in history in future, and so that's what I said. It just became timeless. It's literally the epitome of what Doctor Who is, and that's the reason why the only thing that has made them age, the classic era, is the lack of foresight for color, widescreen, all this sort of thing, film, all that sort of thing. This is exactly why Matt's just got it right. His era is so brilliant, and the reason why it's so replayable. Yeah. If you look back at, and I'm saying this to Charlotte as well, if you would look back at David Tennant's, you would know that hasn't aged well. But Matt Smith's, it was just at that right time, and they had the budget, they had the American audience. And their budget as well. I think BBC America would have had a part in that as well. I could be wrong, Dan. You might know better than me.
Yeah, they were heavily invested in the brand financially and intellectually. Yeah,
and it showed.
At this time, it did seem that Doctor Who was unbeatable, and even when it wasn't doing something that was precisely to my tastes, I could accept that it was as big as it had ever been, considerably bigger, in fact, globally. And I was just enjoying the fact that everybody else was enjoying it so much, and how relevant it all was. And so the Matt Smith era gets that big revisit there with all of those specials repeated, as well as those episodes 3 and 4 of The War Between the Land and the Sea. So that's on again on the Saturday. They're giving you 3 opportunities to catch the spin-off, just in case you miss it at its premiere, or you want to see it again as it gets a little bit more complicated. I don't know, as things proceed. It picks up again a couple of days later, again with obviously the further outstanding 5th episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea debuts on Sunday the 21st, of December. There at just 8:05, goes through till 9 o'clock. Picks up with more Doctor Who related content on Tuesday the 23rd of December, so the day before Christmas Eve there. Another repeat, this time all of The War Between the Land and the Sea in an omnibus stretch there on BBC Three. You get all 5 episodes, starts at 7 o'clock in the evening, going on till heaven knows when. So that's a box set for box set binge watchers there. I was really surprised to see them do that, Charlotte, because you just don't see that anymore. Not on a mainstream channel.
No, but like we've said, BBC Three has got, I think, a lot more freedom in its programming. And when it's 5, you could probably just about get away with that. If it was like an 8-episode run, you wouldn't. But 5 at a stretch, you could. And like you said, they're clearly trying to use BBC Three to also support the spin-off. And we've always said there needs to be this sort of, whatever BBC One's doing, BBC Three, if there's a Doctor Who link, they need to be matching. They need to be working together. And they haven't been doing that in the current run very well. So to have this proper cross thing actually shows a bit of planning for once off the BBC. So that's, I think congratulations, BBC, you've done something right.
Yeah.
Things get even more interesting from Tuesday, the 23rd of December, because at the same time as they're treating BBC Three viewers to that full run of War Between the Land and the Sea at 8 o'clock, and then repeated again at 3:35 a.m. is the Ice Warriors episode 1. I'm not sure why, but there it is. So yeah, the Ice Warriors, obviously, great classic story. What's left of it anyway. I love it to bits. Any opportunity to see any classic Doctor Who episode or story given an airing for a more mainstream audience has to be a good thing. And the Ice Warriors story is so, I suppose it's idiosyncratic in an era where we get a lot of Base Under Siege stories and a lot of monster stories, Gary. So a curious choice.
Well, I mean, I understand why they're pairing it with the Innes Lloyd documentary then, because he's the producer, but maybe because, there's like a lot of ice and snow in that story and they think, well, that's kind of Christmassy.
A wintry, yeah, it could be the wintry theme. Yeah, you're quite right. This does get paired up with a documentary about Innes Lloyd. This is the first time this has been on television. I think it's been on a Blu-ray before. I can't quite remember where they've tucked it. I think it's or on a DVD or something like that. Innes Lloyd was one of Britain's most respected TV drama producers. 300 credits. That's just for the BBC throughout his career. I think between the mid-60s and 1990-ish. So he also worked on Alan Bennett's celebrated Talking Heads program. So they were like just one actor delivering a monologue, and they were just. It was like an award, a Magnets award show. That was. They just threw awards at this show. Huge. He also produced the Stone Tape as well as Doctor Who. So he took over Doctor Who midway through William Hartnell's tenure and stayed there until roughly the middle of Troughton's time, wasn't it? So yeah, Celestial Toymaker through to Around End of the World. So a good chunk of time, and yeah, they pay tribute to him here with the screening of this documentary on BBC 4. I'm not sure whether it is just because of the Doctor Who thing, Gary, or whether it's part of some broader season on TV historical figures of British television, because that's very much what BBC 4 has evolved into an archive channel now. They don't produce their own content for it anymore. It's either archive material or things from Blu-rays, DVDs, or streaming platforms.
Well, clearly, the BBC thankfully still recognize that, when good Doctor Who is perennial, you can put it on any time and it's well worth exposing these episodes to new audiences. And I'm glad that they apparently still recognize the worth of, classic Who and when New Who was good. And they want to showcase it like this. And I just want to say, Matt Pott, I hope you've been writing down all these dates and times, because now you have no excuse not to watch this spin-off with all the times that they're repeating it.
You get all of that.
I can't get BBC here, can I?
That's no excuse.
I like that they've got an old Top of the Pops Christmas special on as the lead into the Ice Warriors. So they've got the Top of the Pops Christmas special, 1992, presented by Tony Doughty and Mark Franklin. I remember that pair up. So that's getting shown, and then it goes straight into episode 1 of the Ice Warriors.
That was 34. That was 33 years ago. Wow.
Absolutely terrifying, Matt.
It is. It is. Yeah. Wow.
Seriously frightening. Charlotte wasn't even around when that was.
No.
Good God, that's even more frightening.
I can tell you where I was then.
I've probably still got the same Christmas hat.
And who I was with at the time.
Yeah, so here we are. It says there, the billing says, Innes Lloyd, the producer, a look at the career of the highly influential television drama producer Innes Lloyd from 8:25. Nice. This is a really nice thing to do. It is just nice, isn't it, Matt? It's nice. It's nice. And
it's good that they've actually get reflected, even just so after so many years and after their passing, it's just good to see that they're still getting a little bit of love.
Yeah. Speaking of passings, there is one more thing to talk about. On Saturday, the 27th of December, Absent Friends 2025 is on as part of the Seventh Dimension strand. This is part 1 of 2 on BBC Radio Extra. Why am I talking about this? You could be wondering. Absent Friends isn't the mythic lost Big Finish story that paired David Tennant with John Barrowman. That is still in the archives at Big Finish and remains unreleased. Initially, I thought they'd got hold of that, and that's what this was, but it's not. It's something even better. It's fronted by friend of the show, our guest last Christmas. Toby Haydock was our quizmaster on the Type 40 live Christmas quiz last year. Toby hosts the Absent Friends 2025 Seventh Dimension show. These are 2 shows which are dedicated to paying tribute to all of the cult and sci-fi actors from series that we've loved in the past that we may have lost in 2025. So it's a long form obituary, lovingly put together by our friend Toby there and broadcast on the radio. So this really is something special. A lot of people, if they don't look forward to this, because obviously it's very bittersweet, Gary, but it's also BBC Radio 4's one of their signature shows for the Christmas period now. Toby's been doing this for a few years. He did talk about it a little when he came on the show last Christmas.
That's really wonderful. I mean, because I know that especially at the beginning of the year, over here the Turner Classic Movies put together their own kind of like in memoriam thing. It's like 5 or 6 minutes, and whenever I see that, it's like all these people I had no idea had passed. I knew who they are, but I had no idea how they passed, and it's so wonderful that Toby Haydock, goes to the effort of paying tribute to people, probably all, in a very moving, wonderful way. So, all
the sad fact is, Gary, that even when a lot of these actors and creatives, people like Innes Lloyd, producers and writers and directors and things like that, they touch our lives and we watch their work over and over again. Charlotte, you may have noticed this for decades. We do this. But the pace of life is that when we lose them, and we're all sad and reflective at the time, but because of the pace of life, and we've all got families and jobs and lives and commitments, when it gets to the end of the year, you can get to the point where you think, oh God, I'd forgotten that person had passed away, and it's just another few minutes to remember them at a time of year which brings people together. I think this is quite a sweet thing to do, and it's perfect for the radio as well. I don't think it'll work on television. Sorry, Toby, that doesn't mean you've got the perfect face for radio, mate. Take a compliment.
I think the thing is with television,
because he will see this.
The thing is, you would struggle to give it time. That's what you need with these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like when they do awards shows, or when they do like what Gary was talking about, on TV they can only pretty much show a picture and a name and then a date.
Right.
And that's not right for somebody's life to celebrate, to remember, to think on. But that's all they can do. So to have a dedicated show where you can tell it will be put together very thoughtfully. There'll be a lot of love in that. And I think for as much as it's sad when these people go, and it is very, very sad, especially for their family and the people who knew them, I think a lot of sort of these larger than life characters wouldn't want people to be sad. They wouldn't want people to sort of be down. They'd want a celebration. They'd want to think about the good times and all the funny stories and all the things that made them individuals and made them special. And that's what you need more than just, this person died this year and then move on.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Agree more. So it's in 2 parts. So if you do get overcome with emotion, for people such as the late Prentice Hancock, who we pay tribute to as well, or Pauline Collins, and lots of wonderful people who really have made a difference to us over the years. We feel like we know some of these people. Then
I have to think that both of them. Will be in Toby Haydock's tribute.
I'd say that's quite likely. I'd say that's very likely. I also wanted to briefly mention this too. So another Doctor Who fan, deeply ensconced in the bosom of the BBC, is Mark Gatiss, and he revived the Ghost Story for Christmas Strand a few years ago now. I think they started doing one here and there, and now it has become pretty much an annual thing. It's nice to have, and these aren't always to my taste, Matt. I sometimes find them a bit slow, but I like the fact that there is a place for something geeky, and B, something scary in the Christmas schedules, because obviously it is a family-related holiday, but some of the best productions from times past often would scare the shit out of me.
I have the 70s ones on Blu-ray. The BFI released them a couple of years ago in 2 parts. And but like I have no interest in Mark Gatiss stuff at all. I just find his stuff a lot of fluff, and he's just fallen in the same trap as RTD and that. So I know that he has this new one coming out with Purdy, whatever her name is. Yeah, there she is. Joanna Lumley, yeah. Who's just made an absolute goose of herself as well. So in that she's taken a certain side with people like Stephen Fry and that really have no inkling or understanding. Yeah. You'll find out eventually.
You can look. I made a bit of a resolution at the beginning of 2025 to miss me with any celebrity opinions whatsoever. This latest Mark Gatiss Ghost Story for Christmas adapts E.F. Benson's story, The Room in the Tower, stars Joanna Lumley, Toby Menzies, and Mark Gatiss is in there as well in the cast. So again,
of course he is.
Toby Menzies, he was in a Bond movie, wasn't he? Because he looks so familiar to me.
Maybe he's done a lot of things. He's the kind of actor, he turns up in lots of things. And you go back and rewatch, things like when he was in Doctor Who, when he was in Cold War, Charlotte. Think, oh, that's the guy from The Thing. It's Toby. What's his face? I like him in the other thing when he played the other Prince Philip, and then he was this, and then he was. So it's kind of like that with a proper character actor. That's what it is. He's got a great face.
Yeah, but a lot of side characters. Like I find if I ever watch all those older New Who, I go, oh God, you were in this episode. Like they were absolutely stacked, like with Moffat and Russell's eras. But no, here's the thing. I agree with you. It's nice that there is something that's scary, that's a bit spooky, that is that gothic. Because Mark clearly adores that kind of genre and the stories that you can do. So it'd be interesting how this one does, because I know they've had a bit of a mixed result, some of these episodes, so I'm hoping this one's people enjoy it.
You know what else I find strange, Charlotte, amidst all of that and all the things that we've said about those Christmas specials from eras past, which we all love and we watch them multiple times. Isn't it strange, no matter what they've said, how many awards that they've given him, that the last 2 Christmas specials starring Ncuti Gatwa, The Church on Ruby Road, and Joy to the World are nowhere to be seen in the Christmas schedules this year. No repeat showings for either of them.
I think they did show the Joy to the World, but that was like weeks ago. So it was clearly not part of, like you said, the Christmas schedule. It was almost like an afterthought of, oh, right, we'll just put one of these, like, because you're doing repeats.
I've just realised that we've got this picture here, this promotional picture from Joy to the World last year, where Ncuti's wearing that red coat. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charlotte. Did he ever wear a red coat in that story? I don't remember him wearing it.
And this is why I do think they're not part of that scheduling you showed, because these 2 specials, it felt like the Christmas parts were just put in because they were on Christmas Day.
Yep.
It really felt shoehorned in. And you just sort of went, God, this doesn't feel like it should be a special. It just, like I said, it was just, here's a bit of tinsel, here's a bit of that. Whereas, especially with Russell, which was and Moffat's first runs, it was baked in that it was Christmas. Whether that was the Doctor having a Christmas dinner with the Tylers when he woke up, or like Matt was saying with the Smith era, it had that Victorian aesthetic a lot of the time. It had almost like a Dickens feel around it, like those things we associate with Christmas.
The more I think about it, what Matt said about those specials being ageless, I think bang on, Matt, absolutely bang on.
But I do have to go.
Thank you.
It's been lovely to be with you lot, and you'll see me
soon.
I miss
Good
you.
night, Charlotte. She's
Have a good sleep.
She's going to cry herself to sleep there at the loss of the Shooty Gatwa specials being left out of BBC Three's run of repeats of Christmas specials this year. I can't say I'm particularly surprised.
Dan, they
myself.
probably just wanted to put on shows that actually might attract views.
The weird
that's why
thing
they
is,
skipped those two.
if you remember, like they revisited that, like at the end of Shooty's regeneration scene, they actually revisit. Remember?
Oh yeah,
They
Joy popped up, didn't she? With
He
a
didn't
great
want to
big
be
fat
out on his
face.
own.
Yeah.
She's still Matt. She's still up there shining down on all of us.
I can't remember what she said. I was too busy. I mean, I was reeling from every nauseating cameo in that special as it was. I mean, she was a more welcome sight than Jodie Whittaker, but there wasn't much in it. I'm going to be honest. Yes, Joy to the world. Joy to the world, says Bill Silver, the one with Jesus and a dinosaur. That's all I remember.
Well, yeah.
I like it. Star of Bethlehem, Sacrilege. Yeah, there was some weird stuff in that.
Yeah.
That only Russell T Davies would
totally
try and fly
agree.
past the
But
British public.
this is
God, that bloke's
this
an
is the
arsehole.
problem when there's people that are like, they're atheists. They think they can just take the piss out of your religion.
Well, I mean,
rather
Matt,
than
he
should
probably
do that
doesn't.
with a friggin' Islam or something, but
But
don't do it with
I mean,
mine.
Russell, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, RTD probably doesn't rate Christmas anyway, so I mean, he just throws the holiday references in there as pro forma. He couldn't care less.
And that's why I never understand why he's so interested in having Christmas specials if he doesn't like Christians.
Well, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Because he's an avowed atheist, and yet he loves Christmas. Russell T Davies. In all fairness to him, he's spoken about it quite a lot. How much he loves Christmas. He loves Christmas with his family and all that kind of thing. And I to be honest, I get it. I get it, but
it's the same with Ricky Gervais. He's an atheist.
He's an atheist too. Yeah. So was Paul Daniels, the late great Paul Daniels. I don't think you can go far wrong, really. If you want a bit of classic Christmas BBC action, well, not much action. It's more sort of walking around, really. Just do what I do. Go for the Box of Delights, all 6 episodes, probably twice. The Box of Delights there for Christmas has to be
somewhere.
with the great Patrick Troughton. Matt, you've just bought the Blu-ray as well?
I've got the Blu-ray of that. Yep. I haven't watched it yet, but I am planning. It's mine plan for this Christmas to watch it. All 6 episodes at what last. I've heard everything about it. So
you'll have to let us know. Let us know if you enjoy it or not. And obviously, the answer, if the answer is not yes, I enjoyed it, then we'll
as long as they're not like humping legs or anything like that, it should be fine.
I don't remember anything like that. No, I mean the rest of the BBC schedule is made up of specials of the usual kind of things. So you've got Strictly Come Dancing, Call the Midwife, Celebrity Apprentice, Amanda Land and Gladiators, and all that sort of stuff. So there is plenty to get stuck into for people who, if you're a fan of the current version of the BBC, there is stuff tucked away here and there, and there's even the odd Doctor Who face turning up. Pearl Mackie, Bill Potts herself, is one of the guest cast. Oh, come on, Matt. One of the guest cast of Death in Paradise this Christmas. So there's always a Death in Paradise Christmas special. And Pearl, who I've got a lot of time for Pearl Mackie. I think she's great. She's there with Don Gillette, who's the current lead of this enormously popular crime show. He played Lance in The Runaway Bride, so another Doctor Who link there. You a fan of what Don's doing in this role? Gary, my mum thinks he's
I am an
fantastic.
enormous Death in Paradise fan. I have all of the DVDs of all the series. His character is good. I mean, they've actually given him kind of like an arc where he was there back. He came back because his mom had died and found out that maybe she had died under suspicious circumstances. So throughout the season, he was kind of investigating what actually happened. So, no, he's good. I didn't like him at first, but I grew to really enjoy his character. And this gets a Christmas special. The spinoff Return Beyond Paradise is getting a Christmas special. So, and it's a franchise now. I heard that they're about to do a 4th series. This is becoming like the NCIS of British mysteries now. It's like the spin-offs are coming fast and furious now with the
So,
show.
as our resident cozy crime expert, do you think that Pearl here will be playing a wrong un? Will she be playing a murderer, or will she be one of the murdered?
She probably won't be the murdered. She'll probably be like a suspect. There's always 5 or 6 suspects. But Dan, I mean, what is the deal with her expression in this picture? That's what I'm fixated on.
It said, "Do you know I'm a lesbian?"
That's only a rumor. That was only you. Are you talking about Bill Potts? That was only
Yeah.
a rumor, Matt. That was never proven.
I was about to say something really rude then, but I think I best not.
But no, I mean,
Because
they always
Charlotte will find out about it and she'll tell me off.
But
when she comes back.
especially for the Christmas shows, they'll always have 1 or 2 like recognizable names in as suspects.
And there's Beyond Paradise there. So Peter
go.
Davison is not there anymore, is he? So I noticed that. But yeah,
They
I'm
did an
quite into
Australian
this.
version too, didn't they? Of that.
It's
that
called,
show?
it's called Return. Return to Paradise, isn't it?
They've done like 2 seasons of that. I didn't really like the first season. I've heard the second season's better, but Peter Davison was like a guest character on this one for like the first season.
Oh, as long as he didn't end up like being the murderer.
No, he wasn't a murderer, but he turned out to be kind of a louse, but he was on like about 4 or 5 episodes.
It annoyed me when he was a...
What's the name, says Ezra Goldstein, of the Patrick Troughton Christmas show? That makes him sound like a light entertainer. You're talking about the Box of Delights,
Box of Delights,
aren't you?
Yes.
In my box are such delights. Yes, there's Bill Silver. That's the one out on Blu-ray now, just as Matt said. Or you can still get it on DVD as well, but there's lots of new features and stuff on the Blu-ray, so I can't recommend that highly enough. Kelly says that's Pearl Mackie.
No
She's changed a lot. I don't think
Really?
Pearl's changed.
She kind of looked the
Pearl's
same.
changed that much. Yeah, it still looks like Pearl Mackie to me. Okay, so yes, we are in the floods of the Doctor Who spin-off premiere. That's very much dominating the schedules regarding Doctor Who for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Whether people know that it's a Doctor Who spin-off or not, I think that sort of depends on who you talk to, really. It's doing a lot better, I think, than a lot of us in the fan base expected. And to be fair, BBC 3 as well as BBC 1 are doing right by it. It'll be all over the iPlayer, of course, for people to catch up on at a later date.
To be fair, Dan, this series was filmed after they got information back about how well done the Doctor Who series had been.
Yeah.
That had all been finished and completed, most of it, until they did the reshoots for him. So they had that feedback. So they've been able to probably, tweak it to the point where
Adjust
they know
it.
it's too much on the nose, way too
Well,
much.
to be
on the nose.
fair, it was always intended for the channel, the audience, and the time slot that it's in now. They didn't intend it to be shown in double bills, but it was always intended for that slightly different demographic. So whilst I think it probably has been tweaked. I suspect they've probably been working on that right until the last, to one degree or another. I'd like to think they would be. I don't think it would have altered a great deal either. So yeah,
Started
obviously
filming in September or something last year, wasn't it? They started
right.
filming that series. so-
September through to February, because somebody I know worked on it for a few weeks, maybe a month or so, on one of the units. So yeah, it was quite a long shoot, but it's been done since February. Yeah, shooting out to it obviously hasn't popped up in the schedules this time. Ricky Gervais will, if you've got Netflix. So yeah, just another mention here: the fabulous Ricky Gervais, the generous, the funny Ricky Gervais, who's definitely got the measure of the Doctor Who fandom. Mortality gets its Netflix premiere there on December the 30th. I know that I'll absolutely be watching that. The last one was brilliant. A great evening's worth of entertainment. Even though sometimes some of it makes you sort of go, ooh, they're going to have him for that one. I think that's all part of the fun. Doctor Who is out of it for the time being. I don't think Ricky knows that. No Doctor Who this year, but it's back next Christmas with a brand new special written by Russell T. Davies. Gary, I know you're probably counting the sleeps until next Christmas already.
I think I'm doing something that night. When is it on?
He'll be sending us some terrible email, Christmas Day. I'll be amazed if it's not on Christmas Day myself. But
Well,
obviously,
it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Especially since now the Disney deal is done, it's
That's
not
right.
going to appear on Disney, and so for the rest of the world, how is this going to affect the viewing figures as far as worldwide? I
mean,
don't,
how can I not watch when it's going to be the most magical, splendid, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious special that we've ever been witness to?
maybe we will all be agape, Gary, this time next year.
Well,
we will all be agape.
No.
In the meantime, we'll have to make do with the war between the land and the sea. Episodes 1 and 2 are now streaming on the iPlayer. You got to wait to see it legitimately on Disney Plus until sometime next year. But it's up there on the iPlayer.
Yeah, I
Jump in
don't have to worry about it. I'm not worrying about it too much.
You haven't become seduced by the hype yet. Of course, we'll be back in a few days' time to talk about that. In the meantime, yes, Toby. So Toby's doing Absent Friends on BBC Radio 4. You can catch Toby as our guest quiz setter there on last year's Type 40 Live Christmas quiz with the other guests. So we had Mark Elstob there, the fabulous actor who's done all that brilliant work for Big Finish, as well as TV work on shows like Emmerdale and things. So Mark came on. Chris Walker-Thompson, the brilliant comedian and all-round good guy, he was on. Toby Haydock was setting the questions, and the great Stephen Noonan, our good friend Stephen Noonan there from Big Finish. He was hosting there and putting myself and Simon and Chris and Mark there through our paces as Doctor Who fans. So yeah, go and check that out. And let us know what you think. Hopefully, all of those gentlemen will be back at some point in the future. Yes, so that's we've been through the Radio Times for Christmas, so you don't have to. We fielded the disappointment, but maybe your favourite Doctor Who Christmas special was in that list of those being repeated. I certainly hope so, because there's a lot that people could enjoy, and remind them why they used to love Doctor Who and why it used to be so perfect.
Yep.
Doctor Who at Christmas was where it belonged.
Your name?
Chris Eccleston.
Where are you from?
Salford.
Your occupation is?
Unemployed Time Lord.
What was the best thing about playing Doctor Who?
The response of children like yourself.
Were you nervous about playing the Doctor?
Yes.
What did Christopher Eccleston bring to the role of Doctor Who?
These.
Does the Doctor fancy Rose Tyler?
Absolutely.
If you had Doctor Who as your specialist subject, how well would you do?
Terribly.
You and me both, mate. I did terrible in that quiz. I blame Toby Haydock. Oh, why do you think he's not back for this year's? Okay, so I still can't do much with this. So I'm going to go at it with some Mr. Sheen and the scraper and get that out of the car, out of the glove compartment, and see if I can break some of it away and get away eventually. But yeah, what a show, what a conversation, what a Christmas we've got coming up. That's the thing, though, isn't it, Matt? I mean, I know you say you didn't necessarily enjoy the Doctor Who Christmas specials, but when you don't enjoy certain aspects of Christmas, I think you can make your own Christmas schedule up. Now that's even easier than ever, isn't it? Not just with physical media, but streaming as well.
Yeah. I think what didn't was it Once Upon a Time or Twice Upon a Time or whatever that was the last. The Capaldi episode was also a Christmas special as well. That came out at Christmas as well.
Yeah.
See, I've still not seen that one. So
Capaldi one?
there are
Was
still
it-
some that I've seen.
Yeah, so there was
the Capaldi
4
one. Yeah,
Capaldi
Twice Upon a
Christmas
Time.
special.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because of the final scene? Because I know
Well,
that
not
the way
just
it
that,
ends-
but it's not just. Well, it's just not that. It's just the fact that I didn't really want Capaldi to leave.
I was the same.
And
Me neither,
so,
Matt.
and
Totally
especially once they said that she was back again after she'd already left, Pearl Mackie back, I was like, yeah, nah, I've lost interest.
Well, look, when it comes to that special Twice Upon a Time, I can't recommend the fan edit enough. It's just called 13. It was adjusted by the unwoke Cyberman. He was a guest on Type 40 Extra, I think about 2 or 3 years ago now. He talked about how he put it together using CGI and various other things to give Twice Upon a Time a fitting ending and to give Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor a dignified send-off. That'll always be my preferred version of Twice Upon a Time. But sadly, no Peter Capaldi specials getting repeated this year. A little bit of an indignity, but hopefully somebody at some point will put that right. Yep. There's more coming from us this Christmas over the next week or two, so stay tuned. Type 40, a Doctor Who podcast, Type 40 Live and Type 40 Extra, and heaven knows what else. So make sure you like this video. It helps a lot more than you think. Subscribe to the channel. Check you're still subscribed to. We try not to pester you by asking people to subscribe all the time, but it would be nice if you did subscribe. We have a lot of lurkers here. Time to subscribe for Christmas, I think, would be the only Christmas present that we would need. And hit the cloister bell to get all the notifications about what's coming next and when, because things traditionally get erratic at this time of year because, well, we've all got lives as well. There's other things that we're off doing. You can come and say hello, though, of course you can. Usual places, Instagram and X at Type 40 Doctor Who, or join us in the Type 40 Facebook group. That's open 360-odd days of the year, whether it's the holidays or not. You can wade in there, join a discussion, or start your own. Start a fight, drop some pics or some fan art or whatever you like over there in the Type 40 Facebook group. Get stuck in, or on SpeakPipe, where you can drop us some feedback of any kind, predictions, requests, suggestions. Get it all into us by SpeakPipe there in the comments. In the description. Bloody hell. How long have we been doing this again? Okay, yes, this is where we talk about Doctor Who. Some of the time, most of the time, for the most part, as we gear up for Christmas 2025. Get the mince pies out. Get your gams around those. Do you like a mince pie, Gary? Do you have mince pies over in the States?
We don't, but I'll try one if I ever get my
host you one.
My hands onto one. Yeah, send me one.
We have them, but they're not super popular. Like,
I mean, they'll look great
like
with
everybody. They're available. That's it. It's not like every household.
Some nice tea.
Puddings is the thing that we like.
Yeah. And I want to say, don't forget, everybody join us on Saturday as we continue the big Christmas extravaganza. So join us on the Spacebook.
Our sister channel, the Spacebook, with the big Christmas blowout. There's Gary and myself,
right.
Starry-Eyed Girl, Sarah Graham, as well as other panelists, some of whom you'll definitely recognize.
That's right.
And
I'm really looking forward to hearing Matt's opinion on War Between the Land and the Sea when he gets around to watching it.
Yeah, in 5 years' time.
He can't wait. He can't wait to get on the hype train for the War Between the Land and the Sea. Look,
I have a lot of unwatched stuff I need to watch. Like your box of delights.
Matt, it would be exaggerating to say that this is setting the world alight, but I think the Doctor Who fandom has heaved a bit of a sigh of relief with this. Of course, it's not perfect. Nothing is, but it is quite compelling, roundly entertaining, and it's interesting as well. So I think just to have something out that's associated with Doctor Who that's not absolutely frigging awful for the first time in quite a while is somewhat of a novelty.
Yeah,
I know. Just shut up, Dan. Shut up. Okay, we've got some more comments. Kelly says, I can't bring myself to watch Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah.
It hurts too much.
That's why I never watched it.
I feel you.
That's quite common.
There was a turning point for me.
Stephen says, same here. I never wanted Peter Capaldi to leave. Yeah. I don't think any of us did. It seemed too soon. It seemed that there was lots of gas.
What sort of a Doctor Who fan am I, honestly?
In the tank. Capaldi didn't want Capaldi to leave, says Crimply and Doubloon now.
Yes.
We know.
Yeah.
We know.
It's always sad.
Does Doctor Who magazine still do that really hard Christmas quiz? Asks Funky. Listen, there's no way it will be harder than the one that Toby Haydock set us here on Type 40 last year. I was bewildered. I felt that my brain was crumbling and turning to dust, and it was pouring out of my ears. I think I got about 3 points. I can't remember who won, and I won't spoil it. I'll tell you now, spoiler. I didn't win. I got a right pasting. I can't remember who won. So you better
I'd
go and hit
lose
that
as
up in the
well.
playlist there.
You know,
And,
Dan,
yeah,
the next
questions were
time,
mind-boggling.
the next time that Type 40 does a quiz, if Tony Haydock isn't available, we need to get the kid who was interrogating Chris Eccleston. He would be a great quiz master.
Yeah. Oh,
You
he's
know,
probably about 35 now. He's a
he
bus
would
driver.
be. He would be Charlotte's age.
I was going to say he's a bus driver.
It's-
Just don't let him
it's
anywhere near Russell T
questions-
Davies.
Questions like those that make you think that, I think I'm just a casual watcher of Doctor Who, not a super fan.
Why? Because you haven't seen Twice Upon a Time?
Because you don't because you don't like you can't answer like every
Oh.
single question of like what planet was the third Doctor on in this story is like, oh man.
Yeah, what
I
was
would-
the production?
Some
What was the
people just-
production code for the Macra Terror?
Some people have minds like filing cabinets, and when I was a kid, I used to think that that's what made somebody a real fan, but it's not true. Just mean different people store different bits of information in different ways. That's all it really is. Peter Capaldi is the current Doctor, in my opinion, said Richard Brooks.
Yep,
based.
same with me.
I watched Twice Upon a Time clips yesterday on the Doctor Who YouTube channel. Is that? Yeah, it's great. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, was it the YouTube channel?
It sounds like it.
Hmm.
I'd say so. Technobabble to me, says Richard. Right. What was that? I don't know. And we have, who else have we got in the live chat? We've got people joining us as well. People jumping in right now, late in the game. Look, you know what you need to do. You need to pull the switch, flick the lever, or is it the other way around? Ring the bell, and time travel back to the start of the stream. And
Oh, get up
bone up.
earlier.
On everything that we said earlier. I have to go back and watch it because I can't remember what I said. So it's all part of the fun. All part of the fun. Yes, Matt, thanks for getting up again. Obviously, you're our real life time traveler. How is Friday looking? And what sort of weekend do you have planned for yourself, my friend?
Well, as you well know, we're in the bouts of summer right now. So I'm doing a lot of trying to maintain the gardens. So that's what I've been very busy doing. So I'll continue to do that while we can.
That's it.
Yeah, but we're going to have it. We're having a few. Well, we're trying to make sure that everything's all cut down because it's bushfire season. So more bush.
Not Mel Bush, just more bush.
Yeah, just more bush. We need to trim it.
I have nothing to add on that, but I won't get told off for later. Gary, mate, another strong innings.
Yes.
I feel. Thanks for your company, pal. I think we've covered a lot of ground on this show, haven't we? I feel like we've had Christmas already, and we've still got the actual Christmas to come.
Absolutely. No. I wish everybody the joys of the season, and I think we started to get struck in with this show. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've blown the seal off it. Absolutely. And there's more where that came from. Of course there is, as well as going through the war between the land and the sea, sort of blow by blow here on Type 40 Live. There's lots more Christmas coverage coming up as well. Our usual mix of news, reviews, previews, interviews, geek outs, and deep dives, of course, with lots of rants and raves thrown in the mix, with no beef, no bullshit, and no party lines either. You can join in the comments as always. And yeah, that wraps up yet another one. Jingle bells, everybody. Who wants more jingle bells? You're going to get them whether you want them or not.
I've been listening to Christmas music since the beginning of November. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. I love
Good
Christmas
for you.
music. I love
Good for
Christmas
admitting it. Yeah, why not? Why not? You can hear some more right now. We always have the time if you have the space here at Type 40 Live. We'll see you next time with more coverage of the war between the land and the sea. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Here they come. Bye-bye.